Welcome to a playoff. Yes, I get to say that. Welcome to the playoffs, right? Shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I encourage everybody to get ready for the playoffs. We will be talking a little bit at the end of at some point in the show. We'll be getting into covering Browns versus Raptors game one. Right now, everybody can dial in a little bit and get logged into what the Cavs is doing because the playoffs are a different beast, right? A lot of people I know that they don't be checking in on the playoffs because you're looking around and you're like, man, it's the playoffs, or excuse me, it's the regular season, and people don't be trying to lock in. It's too many games. But let me just tell you something: if you're a fair weather guy or you're a person that casually watches and you ain't into basketball, this is a different beast, right? The Cavs take on the Toronto Raptors today at 1 p.m. Of course, I will be covering it. So we got a version. We got a version of the show where we gonna have to really we ain't got time to play around today because we got to cover that game at 1 p.m. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we got what we got to get into what we're gonna do today. We don't give you no short changes on the barbershop. So what we need you to do is hit that like button, continue to hit that subscribe button, and become a member so we can get to this. Other news, we will be jumping in next week. So I will be doing for UCSS, I will be doing a watch party for UCSS during the show. Now, I'll be on there from 8 to 11. The only way you can watch that is on the WKYC app if you want to do it and download that and make sure you go check it out. But it's on the WKYC app. So I'm going to throw this out to y'all. Yeah, you know I'll do it. You know I'll do it, but I gotta check with y'all and see if y'all gonna support it. Like, so I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do is I talked to Rosie, and since it's not gonna be the draft party is not going, a draft watch party is not gonna be on YouTube, I said, Rosie, what do you think about doing this? I may come because it's over at 11, right? If you guys is down, I know I got a large fan base all over the world. So I know it's kind of late at 11 for on the night of the draft for some people. I don't know, you got to work, y'all got to do some certain things. But let me know if you guys would be interested, and me and Rosie will pull up and we'll give you a live after we get off there. So I'll come off the UCSS stage. I'll drive home. We'll get locked in, get ready to go, and we'll do a watch party or kind of a live to recap the first day of the draft. So I wanted to throw that out there, see if how y'all feel about it. We'll see. Throw it out there because you know how I do. I want to make sure that the YouTube community gets fed. I want to make sure that people get that content. The Browns got 2 draft picks, so for me, I think it's very important that we come on and we really still continue to feed the streets when it comes to this content. So let us know the night of the draft. Are you down? Because I'll do it at 11 o'clock. You know how I do. I pull up at 12 midnight. You know how I get down. So let us know in the comment section of the video. Let us know in the chat, and we'll be checking back and polling with you guys throughout the show. With that being said, let's get right off into the situation. Todd Monken keeps telling us what's about to happen. Todd Monken is continually telling us what's going to happen, and you people refuse to listen. You refuse to listen, and I'm going to keep it real with you. This quarterback competition, I mean, I hate to say it's over before it starts, but good gracious, man. Like this dude, Todd Monken is slowly but surely tiptoeing to a point where it's going to be like, bro, it's going to be an uphill battle for some people to win this battle. We'll talk about that coming up as well. We're going to get to our series here. This is very important. This is week 2 of our Todd Monken Cleveland Browns offense, what it looks like. We'll go to week 2. I said, listen, I told you, we're going to get into our film bag over here. You know, it's about time to get ready for people to start watching what the Browns is doing. So we got week 2 of that. We're going to be talking about an aspect every single Saturday. We're going to give you an aspect of something that Todd Monken has done in the past, whether with the Ravens, whether with the Georgia Bulldogs. We're going to give you an aspect of his offense that you can look forward to in terms of what the Cleveland Browns could run based on their formations and personnel, and a philosophical overview of what the offense could be. So I've been enjoying this series. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. And we try to move the conversation forward because we trying to figure out what this thing going to look like. Cats are still talking about quarterbacks and stuff. We trying to move the conversation forward. But when we get back, we going to get to it. He been telling y'all what he been thinking. But the question is, what's holding you back? What's really holding? I need to understand something. I need to understand something. And I think it goes to a bigger problem in our society. We'll come back and talk about it here. You already know what it is. Get that coffee ready. Let's get it jumping and let's get ready to go. It's the barbershop on a Saturday, a playoff Saturday, right here on, you know where it is, the hottest joint on Saturday morning. It's the barbershop. Stop playing around with me. Welcome morning. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Hit that like button on the way in. 470 people ready to go. Rise and shine. Time to get right off into this spectacle. We want to thank everybody for supporting the Final Cut. Shout out to them. And here's another thing I want to say quickly. I really appreciate y'all supporting the content. See, it's a lot of people out there that, you know, they want what they want. You know what I'm saying? They want, you know, my channel is about Browns videos and doing things about Cleveland sports, but I've already made a conscious effort to diversify, you know, my content. And I think the big push that I'm making is to diversify what we're talking about and to get us in a position where we need to be able to comment and talk about a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes we cut our voices off because we get pigeonholed into saying that, oh, if I do this topic, nobody's going to watch it. So therefore, I'm just going to stick to the same old thing. No, because, yeah, people might not watch it now, but you got to continue to push through that. So what I want to do is I want to thank everybody because my content will diversify. It will continue. I know some people see my reviews up or clothing reviews, or if I'm with my family going out to eat in restaurants, or I'm doing a different commentary where we talk about sports and culture with Tyvis and Earl. Like I do blogs with my niece. I think it's important that you expand your voice to just other things outside of sports. Sports is great, but at the end of the day, like, you have to be able to speak on certain things that are greater, wider, bigger, have more impact than sports. And so for me to do that, people have to support the content. So my thing is, I'm going to support it. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to continue to try to diversify. And I want to make this platform a platform where we can have conversations about anything, but that only works if you support it. It only works if you support it. You know, what I'm trying to do here is to give the community a platform to talk about things that matter to us. And if we don't support that content, then don't be surprised when other people don't support it. Don't be surprised when you don't see people that you identify with not on big stages, not on panels, not on shows, right? You know, I've always said, bro, when I got into the game, I was one of 2 or 3 black people in the game. And when I got in the game, a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, it was, oh, no, we don't want to get into that too much. You want to, and it's like, I always go to this. They even told us in terms of watching rock music, I'm doing a show. They like, all you can do is, we don't do other music beds. You have to you have to have rock beds. How you gonna tell me I gotta have a rock? My music behind my monologue better be rock. That's crazy work. That's the game I came into. I'm happy to say that when it comes to certain things, I do consider myself a pioneer. And now that would be kind of crazy. Now you'd never hear that because times have changed. And so we went through that. So I want to just thank everybody for supporting that and supporting what we got going. All right, G Bush, shut up. Let's get to it. You know what they came for. Let's talk about it. Well, we always have to start the show with those who are not in the know. What seems to be the Cleveland Browns, seems to be people around the industry have been choosing sides. Again, G. Bush has been correct. G. Bush has been on the forefront of this. As we look around, we start to see that the Cleveland Browns still have the same quarterback room. OTAs came around. I guess Shedeur Sanders is looking like he's in shape. Looking like he done slimmed down. Looking like he done been in Berea all year. And the thing that people are so sick and salty about right now, they sick and salty about it right now, is G. Bush ain't telling them nothing. They're getting their messaging directly from the ivory tower. And the information that they're getting directly from the ivory tower is something that they cannot refute. You see, when I start telling you certain things, y'all ain't going to want to agree with me. And you just don't. But when the coach and the general manager come out and continue to say it, well, it's kind of more difficult to refute now, don't we? Right? So listen to the fear. Listen to the level of fear in these people's voices. Now, this level of fear has nothing to do with if they really believe that this is unfair to Todd Monken. We've already established that half these dudes they didn't already say he ain't going to be here in 3 years anyway. And what you got to understand is these are contrived, made up, fictitious narratives in their mind. Who said this? Who thinks like this? I'm going to play this clip, courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. Listen to the way this man is jumping out in front of something that don't even exist. Everything Todd Monken has said has been confident. Everything he done said has been, you know what, I'm nice. The thing that people can't move away from Todd Monken is, I'm going to just be honest with you. Todd Monken just believes he's a better coach than Kevin Stefanski. You can just tell. Todd Monken in his heart of hearts is like, bro, he's somebody who's confident in what he can do in terms of his offensive acumen. And so when he's looking at tape and talking to these dudes, they positioning themselves in a place of fear. Todd Monken is positioning themselves in a place of confidence and speaking life into a situation where he feels he's in complete control of his own destiny. Well, it's levels to this. Take a look at the fear.
Hey, Andy. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how you put that heat on a new head coach and say, "Hey, we expect to win more games." Really? Okay, let's see it. Good luck, because all the free agent quarterbacks who you might have thought could come in and improve this, they're gone. They're on other teams.
Well, if you would have listened to G. Bush, we would have told you that you wouldn't go all them free agent quarterbacks. If you would have just listened to good old G. Bush, he could have told you from Jump Street last year. And watch what he says. He does not necessarily say, well, all of the quarterbacks that you might have thought that could help you are other teams. No, you thought they could help you. No. That was you, my good sir. That was not Todd Monken. You see, here's what we got to start doing. It's 2026. I think Cameron said this the other day. He said 2026, I'm not going over above and beyond and out of my way. I said, dang, that was cold, Cam. I am not going above and beyond to give you and make you feel good about what the reality is. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. We got to start telling folks, listen, guys, the reason why you're hurt right now is not because the Browns told you anything, not because you read into what the Browns' moves were. It's because you thought in your heart of hearts that all of those other quarterbacks were going to help you out. It has never been. See, what we got to do is you got to start. No, we are not. It's done. Somebody said, did. No, that is dead and gone because Todd Monken has been here long enough that he done started talking for himself. Now, when you start talking for yourself and you start controlling your narrative, you see how difficult it is for people to twist your own words. It's almost impossible. Now you got them coming off as, why you scared, bro? Why your voice shaking? Is somebody holding y'all at gunpoint? I don't understand. It's so many people that you watch, why they face be looking like that? Is somebody blackmailing you? Do they got a ransom note? Why are you are visibly shaking? I thought we were just talking about football. Continue.
That's scary, Andy.
Why scary?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how you put that heat on a new head coach and say, hey, we expect to win more games. Really? Really?
Say, for instance, I was doing a show and I was auditioning for a radio show. And they brought me in and said, G. Bush, we made a change on the radio. We love G. Bush. We want to bring you in. You have an audience. You got passion. We got fire. I say, okay, what the last dude's ratings look like? They're like, yeah, it wasn't that good. Matter of fact, we was third or fourth in the entire market. We got the last place show. When they hire you and give you money and you tell them and we negotiate how much money I want, and they say, G. Bush, you tell us how much money you want. And I say, well, listen, this is my price right here. They're like, well, we can't do that. We're only paying the last guy. You know, that's twice as we were paying the last guy. I said, well, you pay for what you get. Because them ratings that I'm bringing into the table is going to be different. I already got my fan base, and you already know they're going to pull up. They give you the bag, right? Don't you expect them to have some expectations on being better? Why would you sit there and tell myself that I'm going to go into a situation and have less success than the last dude? What type of backwards thinking is that? When people hire you, they hire you because they thought something was going wrong. They hired a new coach because they felt the old coach wasn't doing it right. They hired a new coach because the new coach they felt had something that would be better than what the old coach did. So so you can't have it both ways. See, the Browns media does this all the time, and it's a sleight of hand trick. They go and they hammer and they mercilessly talk about why the Browns are terrible and have no standards. But then on top of that, they'll go and say, well, how come you can't put your pressure on a coach to win more games now, can you? What? You can't have it both ways. So then when he doesn't win games, you go and say it's a dumpster fire because they didn't have no culture, they have no expectations, and the Browns are a dumpster fire. Which is it? Let's continue.
Okay, let's see it. Good luck. Because all the free agent quarterbacks who you might have thought could come in and improve this, they're gone. They're on other teams. Except maybe Aaron Rodgers, and he's not coming here.
Is the Browns quarterback picture that bleak?
Except for Aaron Rodgers. Except for Aaron Rodgers, and he's not coming here. I just saw Aaron Rodgers get smoked by the Browns last year. I just saw Aaron Rodgers come in here and lose to Shedeur Sanders last year. See, I'm telling you something. Here's what it is. You guys, this is the key to understanding, folks. See, football is like politics. The politics that people have is baked into their mentality. It's baked into it's counterintuitive. It's an oxymoron. It's just you say you want something, but then when it happens and we tell you, you knew that was going to happen, right? You knew that. You know they ran on that, right? You do know that they ran on cutting that. Then they cut it. And then you like, I don't understand what's going on. They told you in your face that what they was going to do. It's just like this. How are you going to say they looking at you? Aaron Rodgers is old, and when he had an opportunity to win a game at the end of the season to clinch a division or against the Cleveland Browns team that was hurt with no Juckins, Harold Fannin was going after the first quarter of the game, beat up draft positioning Cleveland Browns team in a meaningless game. You couldn't beat them, who won 5 games. You see, y'all got to stop realizing it ain't never been about whether you good or whether about being you bad or whether or not they think that they're doing something. It doesn't matter. If you point out the stuff on the tape, no, that don't count. If you point to the numbers and be like, well, he threw for 365, nope, that don't matter. If you talk about wins and losses, well, listen, he won more games than everybody, that don't matter. When you talk about, hey, well, listen, you want Aaron Rodgers, but look what he did against the Steelers and the Bengals. You think Joe Burrow is one of the greatest quarterbacks. Why the heck Joe Burrow lose to a team like the Browns at home with nothing to play for? Oh, that don't matter either. See, the reality is in their mind, no matter what the evidence says, no matter how well he plays or certain players play, there will be always a baked in, but, really, is it really important?
That what Jeff was just saying. Because, I mean, the stats.
One of the 5 worst in the league.
I'm wondering if you're kind of redefining what you think the quarterback position should be. But look, if you think they should lose this year and start gearing up for the next season, then maybe this is exactly where you want to be.
There's the thought, huh?
What? What?
But look, if you think they should lose this year and start gearing up for the next season, then maybe this is exactly.
Get off my screen. Get off my screen. Get out of my sticks. How can you advocate straight up just losing? I already told you this. I'm telling y'all this right now. People would rather lose with people they can identify with than win and be comfortable. People would rather lose, fail with people that they identify with rather than be successful with people that they A, can't control the narrative on, B, are uncomfortable around, or C, don't understand. It has never been about a franchise quarterback. They want a franchise quarterback that they want, that they can see, that they can wrap their arms around. And if they don't get that, I'll take my ball and go home. I just don't want to play this anymore. I don't want to play this anymore. This is unattainable. Good gracious, people. What? Let's keep going. They'd rather take L's. I'm going to tell you what. The people is lying. Watch this. If Shedeur Sanders was to win 10, 12 games, they'd find a reason not to like 10, 12 games. They go and say, well, listen, he put up great numbers against the bad teams, but the great teams, he didn't do anything. 10, 12 wins. He can lead the Browns to the playoffs. He throws an interception in the playoffs. I don't know if he's the long-term answer. I don't know. He's not clutch in the playoff. These people.
The way it is.
Yeah.
And so he's got to look into that room and say, here, you get the football. I trust you the most to win a game.
Here's the other thing about Watson, should you decide to start him. Mm-hmm. Takes a little bit of the pressure off Sanders once again.
What are we talking about? What it takes pressure off? He ended. Bro, this revisionist history, these people, it's scary. I do not want to be inside these people's minds. What are you talking about? What pressure is he under? Shedeur Sanders started how many games last year? This isn't his first time throwing a football. This isn't JV football at Chagrin Falls. This isn't. The man started 7 games and led a game-winning drive against your savior, Joe Burrow. He won 2 division games at the end of the year. He was named to the Pro Bowl. What pressure are you talking of, sir? What magical, and since when's Deshaun Watson, who hasn't played in 3 years, is going to get the pressure off somebody else? Deshaun Watson trying to go out there and figure out if he can still throw the football. These are fairy tales. As the world turns, as like the sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. These soap operas is crazy. Real athletes don't feel no pressure. See, this is what I always tell you. There's a reason why they don't let everybody talk about everything. See, this is the reason why you got to have athletes in a position to stop that stuff. Because what happens is that layman's terms start to take over everything. Ain't no such thing as no athlete. I didn't even play at that level. Let me tell you something. When you're born to do something and you put on this earth to do it, and God give you that ability, and God give it to you, and can't nobody take it away unless you don't use it, how you gonna feel any pressure? Let me just give you an example. If they said, G. Bush, you hosting the Grammys tonight. All right, where we going? Get my suit ready. G. Bush, I'm gonna be at the community center doing a potluck. You gonna host it. Where we at? Let me know where my seat is. Let's get to it. There ain't no place on earth where I feel I'm uncomfortable, don't know what I'm about to say, is nervous. You know why? Because I'm walking in my gift. I'm walking in what I am. I'm walking in my what God built me to do. Huh? Does a fish swim? Does an eagle soar? Huh? You just wake up and get to it. So what pressure do you speak of, my good sir? There's no such thing as pressure. Bro, come on now. Where'd that come from?
Right? Who could then maybe ease into the season and play when needed, whether it's when Watson gets hurt or struggles mightily or whatever the case may be.
We are not about to watch Deshaun Watson struggle. And then you see, listen, guys, it's becoming more and more evident. Hey, it's becoming more and more evident. They just don't want to see this dude play. Everything in their DNA. Everything, like it's time. It's time, listen, it's time. When people show you what they're talking about, just believe them. They do not want him to play under any circumstance. We are sitting here talking about, let's see. This is the reason this attitude that they displaying is the reason Kevin Stefanski is on the first thing smoking. This is the reason Kevin Stefanski got fired. Because the same passive aggressive, the same underhanded compliments, the same moving the chessboard around, the same sly remarks, it's the same attitude. It's all over your face. It's all over your being. When the last time you seen one of these dudes smiling talking about the Browns? You don't see it. And you ain't gonna see it. Because they ain't happy with it. See, they convinced you that they were fair arbiters and they just want the best person to win. I just want to see the best person win. I just want to see the best. Liars! You don't. You want to see who you want to put in the booth. You want to see who you want behind center. No, you do not. Absolutely not. and you're willing to get rid of the GM, you're willing to get the quarterbacks out of there, and you're willing to do all of that so you can get it who you want in the building. And half the reason that this is going on today is because you were comfortable with the last head coach. Well, guess what? He's not coming back. So you guys might want to get used to it. But what are we talking about? Stop pausing it, G. Bush. Let him talk.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And so he's got to look into that room and say, here, you get the football. I trust you the most to win a game.
The other thing. Here's the other thing about Watson. Should you decide to start him, takes a little bit of the pressure off Sanders once again, right? Who could then maybe ease into the season and play when needed, whether it's when Watson gets hurt or struggles mightily or whatever the case may be. Otherwise, if you put Shedeur out there from day one, let's pretend that happens, that he wins the competition, and he's out there from day one, he's looking over his shoulder.
He's hedging. You see what they're doing in real time? This is why I have to listen. No disrespect. Y'all be wanting me to go to the locker room and have these questions, right? I get it. That serves a place and a time. But you need me right here for this. Forget going to, I already know what the player's thinking about. This is the craziest sleight of hand that y'all don't see. How are you going to say, bring it back? This is wild work. Bring it back.
Happens that he wins the competition. And he's out there from day one. He's looking over his shoulder, isn't he?
They're telling you what they are already planning. I've already told you. First and foremost, I told you all of a sudden they'll like Deshaun Watson. I said that weeks ago. That all of a sudden the turn is when they found Gabriel. This is Power Rangers. This is Power Rangers. Remember how in Power Rangers they used to have the Monster of the Week? It's the Monster of the Week. Voltron. It's the Transformers. They find some big monster to fight the Voltron or the hero. And every week, you didn't get it done. But this new monster I got, he's going to get it done. Now the new monster is Deshaun Watson. Now, the problem that they have is they don't want Deshaun Watson either. The problem is they've been running this man's name in the ground for weeks and years. You can't even say his name, and they be like, Deshaun Watson, he shouldn't even be on the team. Now, when it's useful, let's use Deshaun Watson as a foil. Now, all of a sudden, if I pull your comments from 3 days ago, all of a sudden it's whoa. All of a sudden, Watson is the obvious answer. Now, watch this. They're already telling you in real time the move they're making. Always remember this. This is how the media works. We throw something out, it's a signal. Okay, this is where we're going with it now. Now I'm going to pose a question to you as if it's a question. No, this is a directive. Nah, this is what this the game plan. So the game plan is, watch this. This is devious. Even if Shedeur wins the competition fair and square, you're already posing and setting up opposition that he's already looking over his shoulder. Wow. I told you. See, this is why I'm telling you, you let me know it's irrefutable. See, you can get that off over there. But where we at today, no. Even when you do what you need to do and you ball out, you already is planting seeds of doubt in how you guys are going to operate. You're operating as if what? Even if he wins the competition, that's not good enough. But when Dylan won the competition or when the competition was rigged, it was all good. The rules of engagement will always be different.
When are they going to make the move to bring in the veteran? Because I'm not playing well. So I think you take away That's on the coach, though, to make sure mentally he's there.
I get it.
Yeah,
but I think
know
that's
Deshaun's over there. I get it. He's only here for another year. Don't worry about it. Play your game. And by the way, the more you win, the more it doesn't matter. I keep saying this, too. I'll take it the other way. I was negative 2 minutes ago. I was just like, okay, if Monken doesn't get 3 wins, he's going to be in trouble. If Deshaun Watson jumps out and is 3-0 or 4-0 to start the season, guess what the next words out of people's mouths?
Contract extension.
Bingo.
Nicole. Hey, Nicole. Shout out to you. Nicole, let me get this out. Let me take this now, because I think you guys very astute. Shout out to y'all. Y'all very this base over here, bro, is different. Like, y'all see, that's the problem. Don't think that they got a problem with y'all because you are, you're dumb or something. They got a problem with y'all because you can't pull y'all not mindless sheep. Y'all not stupid. Can you throw that back up for me? Can we get that Nicole right there? The media is used to controlling the Browns and having the Browns thinking the media knows best. Mm-hmm. See, what they're used to doing is playing these little games, and people is used to be, they're too mentally feeble to understand, oh my God, what are they doing? Now we have to do this because they're going to write this. Bro, that day is done. That day is done. Forget all that talking. Listen, listen. Nah. My job is to debunk, decode, and teach, and keep people in the mood and where they need to be at. Going to ask you, I don't need to do that. Y'all need somebody here to talk about that. They be telling you in plain sight how they gonna move with the next move. Why you think every step, they'd be like, dang, G. Bush was on that 3 weeks ago. Oh, yeah. I got a PhD in catching fools slipping. Yeah. Oh, no. Whoa. Wow. You done already, see, here's how it works. They done already read the tea leaves. When nobody showed up and nobody was here, then it was all of a sudden, mind you, watch how many people then already got that message. Let's start with this one. Chase Daniel, watch how many people got this message already. Now, mind you, it's a difference between the national media and the local media. Watch the tone difference.
He's able to get out onto the move. We've seen what he's young. He fits his offense better because he's able to get out onto the move. We've seen what Deshaun Watson can do, right? When healthy, the last really great season he had was 2020. With Shedeur, though, you're building it from the ground up, meaning you have to go out there in the classroom and you have to learn the offense from day one. There's no questions asked whatsoever. And Todd Monken has an offensive mind. He's really multiple in sets. He likes a lot of 3-4 wide receivers. He's really fast-paced. He knows how to create.
Mind you, see, I ain't just gonna give you the red meat. I ain't just gonna bring you the receipts. We will educate. Some of the same things that he's talking about, I'm gonna show you that later on. Why this is Todd Monken is suited with Shedeur Sanders and is suited to make the Cleveland Browns offense way better than anybody knows.
Mismatches, and the cupboard's not bare there whatsoever. You have Fannin, Judkins, and Jerry.
What you say? Say that again.
Bare there whatsoever.
What you say?
4 wide receivers. He's really fast-paced. He knows how to create mismatches, and the cupboard's not bare there whatsoever. You have Fannin, Judkins, and Jerry Jeudy, especially if they go and add a Boston guy in the first round as well. Shedeur's gonna have a chance, or whoever's gonna be playing is gonna have a chance to show what they have. And with the new head coach, with a quarterback-friendly offense, coming over from Lamar Jackson, I just think that Shedeur Sanders at this point in time is probably giving them the best chance to win.
I tell you what. Huh? Listen, there's a reason why it's different. It's a reason. Let me tell you this. There's one thing that you should always look for the national media, and I'm just giving you this too, from the perspective. The national media is going to follow the bag. Always remember that. The national media and the corporate media, they're going to follow the bag. So you can have an opinion about something, but as soon as it looks like it's declaring another way, they will pivot. And when I mean they will pivot, you'll have conversations and meeting of pivot. Oh, we already see what the tea leaves is. The producer will come in. Oh yeah, it's time out for that conversation. We're gonna pivot on this one. We're going to pivot on this one. We ain't got no time for it. You see, the 4-letter networks and all of those, they could say something about Shedeur Sanders and he have one good game. Matter of fact, they don't even take one good game. Let him have a couple days of good practice. They will bring you into an office meeting and say, hey, you know he the cash cow. Be cool. We at camp. Cleveland is the epicenter of football this summer. Let me repeat it. So you guys can get ready to go. Cleveland will be the epicenter of football. This quarterback competition will be on Fox, ESPN, all of the medium outlets, all of those outlets. And the thing that you got to realize is the regular networks is all about the money. Because if the Browns are good, it is good for business for them. Watch how the narrative on the Browns will change. Because they know now that's a global move. That's a global move. That's not a regular, this is a little local move. And one thing that we always got to remember, let me just tell y'all this quick little story. When LeBron James was rolling the first time with the Cavs, he was here from 2003 to 2010, I believe. 8 years, 2010. And one thing LeBron James said, LeBron don't do local interviews. No local interviews for LeBron. So at that point in time, he was already looking to make himself a national brand. He wanted to make himself and let people know, I'm different. And so that didn't go over well with the regular media. It just didn't. Like in terms of, because they felt like he had grown up here in Akron in the area and they was being shut out of the opportunity to cover the biggest story in sports. So what happens is you get to a point where it looked like a lot of the prosperity that came along with LeBron James and the Cavs being on TV moved from local people directly to the national. They started hiring people just to follow LeBron from ESPN. There's a couple of people that really, really made out like bandits. Brian Windhurst was one of them. Joe Varden was one of them. You know, I'll even say Jason Lloyd did well for himself. He eventually wrote but he did well for himself after LeBron. So Chris Haynes did well for himself. So there was guys, Pat Miniman, or David McMenamin. So basically, LeBron became a national story. And people used to come in, post up, do how they want to do the content and leave. Get the bagging out. And local people felt froze out. Let me tell you something. There's a little bit of trepidation. Because if Shedeur is good, we already know how the relationship already done started. As a matter of fact, we really ain't seen that. As a matter of fact, we really ain't seen no interviews like that. So when you get Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson and those people, and the Browns is doing this by this is, I know that. Shout out to them. I wish I could have I know for a fact they got a whole new strategy team. They have because the Browns don't operate like this. This is too surgical. This is too buttoned up. This is way too much of coordination. And think about it. You haven't. So when you have this is a tool. When you create silence, one of the biggest tools that you can do as a negotiator, right, or a person, is if you asking questions or you cross-examining somebody or you want the truth, never give them too much. Leave the awkward silence. Leave the awkward pause, 3 to 5 seconds. And people will then fill that space up with what the truth is. If somebody's trying to withhold something from you, Watch how uncomfortable it is for you to look directly at somebody for 3 to 5 seconds and just let them keep talking. It gets real strange. And what they're doing is Deshaun Watson not talking. Dylan Gabriel not talking. Shedeur Sanders. Think about this. I just want, let me just give y'all this. Let me give y'all this. Which one of y'all think this is a coincidence? Maybe you can say, the reason you haven't talked to Deshaun Watson is because, maybe he's doing his rehab, or maybe, he's not available. Well, Shedeur Sanders, right? Where's the interview with Shedeur Sanders? What local, besides Nathan Segura, and he's with the Browns, where's the Shedeur? I mean, bloggers have gotten him. For Deshaun Watson, where's the interview with Deshaun Watson? And this is the tough one. Why is there no interview with Dylan Gabriel? Where's the Dylan Gabriel interview? Dylan Gabriel started 7 games last year for you. He's a really level-headed young dude, nice guy. That's an alley-oop, right? That's a lob. That's an alley-oop interview. Hey, Dylan, quick interview. Hey, how do you feel about how you performed the first 6 games? What did you learn in your time as starting quarterback? Do you regret getting a concussion? Was that hard for you having to go through that, knowing you was the starter? This is a layup interview. No, there's no Shedeur interview. There's no Watson interview. There's no Dylan Gabriel interview. You know why? That's on purpose. Because when you don't have any information that they're not given, it's awkward space. And what happens when people have awkward space? They fill it with narrative or what they really think. And then you out yourself. So now you can see exactly who's who trying to be fair about the situation, and who out here just writing the right. It is not a coincidence that no quarterback from the Cleveland Browns has spoken to anyone, because they've already identified that you believe all 3 quarterbacks should be gone. They already know you already coming out to get it, right? That's your agenda. So they make sure, we're going to make sure we ain't doing none of that. Block, 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 block. Block, 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 block. Nope, you ain't even go. Tell me why. I just give me, listen, I don't know if I got haters still. If you're a hater, you tell me why I ain't heard an interview from nobody. Why is there no local interviews for, bro, these is the home, these is radio stations, the home. Where are the interviews? We can't get Dylan? We can't get none of them? That ain't by coincidence. That's by choice. That's by plan. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. We didn't start. We ain't even got to the thesis. We ain't even got to the thesis yet. 1,520 people in here. Hit that like button wherever you at. Now, this is what they not going to like. This is what you came for the thumbnail. Boom. Todd Monken. He keep telling y'all this stuff. It's hurt feelings. Again, this is the second time. For all the people who is just, maybe G. Bush is I don't know what they're thinking. What did he really mean by that? Did Todd Monken really say he was a playmaker? Did he really say things like that? He comes back and doubles down and says, shut up. Let me tell you what I think again. You notice it's quiet. Where is all the Ty Simpson? Where y'all notice it's been real quiet on the internet lately? Well, it's because of this.
Just for big picture on Shedeur, just year one, just what did you see on film? I think you see playmaking ability. I think you see a player that is confident in his skill set. So when you see that playmaking ability and inner confidence, you say, okay, there's something to work with there. So that I think that's the thing that excites you. I said it this morning that 15 or 20 years ago, they would have said that Shedeur Sanders was athletic.
Notice in this breakdown, he said excited. He could have chose any other word besides excited. He didn't say held hostage. He didn't say back against the ropes. He didn't say put me in an unfair situation. He didn't say looking at it as a negative. He said I'm excited. He also then goes on to say and elaborates on how he thinks it's crazy that these folks done gave him a label like he was unathletic, like compared to what or who. They threw so many different things out there in the beginning. It was like, bro, you trying to make it seem like this dude can't run? That he ain't mobile? Todd Monken goes in to debunk that. I didn't debunk it. It wasn't me. It wasn't FB Teams. It wasn't Simply Ball Dropping. It wasn't Money Man. It wasn't Mag Dog. It wasn't none of them dudes over here. Chef Zay didn't say it. Earl didn't say that. Tyvis didn't say that. Todd Monken said that with a sweet new haircut. So now you got a problem. By the way, you got a problem because he's not giving you no stuff. He's elaborating on it. He said, he was like, and furthermore, I don't know what y'all was talking about him not being athletic. If he was 10 years ago, y'all would have had him out here like he was the second coming. He is athletic. He just ain't as athletic as Lamar Jackson, but nobody's more athletic than Lamar Jackson. What did y'all talk about?
They would have said he could escape. Well, the game's changed so much to now he's not a mobile quarterback. No, he's mobile. He's just not as mobile as what we've come to. We've come to where Lamar Jackson or the quickness that these players have, their escapability.
Does it sound like he views Shedeur as an outside adversary or somebody in the inner circle? See, I study body language. He's impassioned. Like, I can't believe this. I can't even believe y'all had thought. Listen, he asked him what he see on film. He done went all the way into moving his arms and legs and all kinds. He's demonstrative here. He's demonstrative. This is a thing that is irrefutable. Now, this is twice he said this. That's why it's quiet on the internet, because he done doubled down on it. And now he done did it in a way you can't even parse his words. Talk to him, Todd.
Said that Shedeur Sanders was athletic. They would have said he could escape. Well, the game's changed so much to now he's not a mobile quarterback. No, he's mobile. He's just not as mobile as what we've come to. We've come to where Lamar Jackson or the quickness that these players have, their escapability is completely changed from when it was. But I do think what you see on tape are those aspects. A very young player that really didn't grow up in a pro-style offense. It's not his fault. That's okay. I was at Oklahoma State with Brandon Weeden, and we were air raid, and he got drafted here. He didn't grow up in that. That's not their fault. Now it's going to be our fault if we can't.
See, this is very important because I didn't saw on the internet, they tried to use that, what he just said, as a shot to Coach Prime. Well, that was a shot at Coach Prime at the offense they were running in Colorado. I'm like, bro, y'all be reaching. Shout out to Big Snacks. You right. Big Snacks was talking about that the other week. I was watching. He said, bro, how you going to try to make it seem like this dude was taking a shot at Coach Prime because he said he didn't grow up in a pro-style offense? I'm like, guys, where did you take that from? What he telling you is, I done been a lot of places. I coached Brandon Weeden at Oklahoma State. They ran an air raid. That was the offense we ran. That was the philosophy. They drafted Brandon Whedon, and he wasn't in the pro-style offense in Cleveland. Like, it happens. Every offense in college is not a pro-style offense. And furthermore, what he's saying is, no disrespect to nobody else. I wasn't working with him. No disrespect to whatever offensive play formations he was running before. It wasn't my playbook. You already know what I feel about my capabilities in my playbook. Let's keep it a buck. Let's talk the talk. No disrespect to Mr. Shermer. No disrespect to the other offensive coordinator of Colorado. He ain't going to be in no situation like he going to be in here. He ain't going to be in a situation where we're going to tailor our offense and get these things ready to go. But how you switch that up?
That's okay. I was at Oklahoma State with Brandon Whedon, and we were air raid, and he got drafted here. He didn't grow up in that. That's not their fault. Now it's going to be our fault if we can't develop them. Then it's our fault. It's our job is to develop all the players that show up in the building and try to get the best out of all of them, create the best version of them.
Now, he said that's going to be my problem. Man, I don't know if it's going to be successful. I don't know if the Browns going to win 12, 14 games. But let me tell you something. I like his philosophy. Listen, I just like what he putting down, bro. You see what he said? No, run that back. Put that back up there, G. Bush. Put it back up there. I want y'all to hear this. I want you to hear this because
for big picture, and we were air raid, and he got drafted here. He didn't grow up in that. That's not their fault. Now it's going to be our fault if we can't develop them. Then it's our fault. It's our job is to develop all the players that show up in the building and try to get the best out of all of them, create the best version of them.
Bro, man, that's what I'm talking about. That right there is what I'm talking about. What irks me the most and what gets under my skin the most is that there's grown men out here that is shirking responsibility and accountability. The job of the coach is to be accountable for getting people together and putting them in the best position to make plays and to do so and to develop. And too oftentimes, we sitting here talking about what coaches don't have, and we need a quarterback. You see, that's the problem with us now. There's a lack of accountability specifically by men in this country. There's a lack of accountability. There's a woe is me mentality. There's it was that person's fault. Every time you wake up, it's somebody else's fault for why you ain't doing what you can do. It's somebody else's fault for why you're not successful, or why you ain't the weight you want to be, or why you ain't got no money in your 401k. It's always somebody else's fault. Always aggrieved. Somebody did something to you. And the crazy part about it is that is seeped into our football. The coach deserves a quarterback. No, the coach deserves to prove that he's worth coaching a quarterback. The onus is not on the 18 to 21-year-old player who does not know the league to come in and be great. It is not the onus of an 18 to 21-year-old quarterback with no experience to come in and save a coach and save a franchise and save the fans. It's the job of the organization to do right by that player, coach that player, put players around that player, continue to get the most out of them, and then grow and cultivate a relationship with that player. But you want it backwards. You want it backwards. I want to be married, but I don't want to do nothing on my own. I want to be married, but I don't want to put no work in on myself. I want to be married and I want a supermodel, but I don't want to go work out. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't even want to have ambition to get a better job, to earn more money. You just want because you think you privileged enough to get it. What type of atmosphere are we living in Cleveland right now? How are you entitled? How do we walk around entitled? This goes for the whole community. How are we entitled and we didn't put the work in to get where we need to go? You see, it takes time to get you a quarterback and to put people around them and grow and to cultivate and to make things move. But you look at Josh Allen as if Josh Allen wasn't throwing picks the first 2 years he was coaching. and you look at his finished product and then say, well, I want a quarterback like that. Well, listen, to get a quarterback like that, you got to go through growing pains. Yeah, I want a wife like Susie. Yeah, Susie and her husband been going to counseling for 3 years. They just now got good, but you want to fast forward because you lazy. We do lazy interviews. We do lazy sports talk. We do lazy analogies. We don't want to put no work in, but we want somebody to come in and save us. Why? Because you got your team taken? We need to stop feeling sorry for ourselves and get to work. Why? Because they took the team in 95. Stop talking about that. Put your own work and let's get to it. The Jacksonville Jaguars is an expansion team. They done been further than you been. The Tennessee Titans done moved. The Houston Texans done moved. There's plenty of teams that have moved. The Raiders done moved. You ain't special. We not special. Somebody need to tell us about some tough conversations. Let's get to work and develop the people you got. And by the way, stop mentioning 95 and the team getting taken if you don't even want to support the players that we got right now. I heard same people was crying. Oh, they took our team. But guess what? Guess what? Every time you bring up a new player, he's okay. He ain't that good. He all right. He ain't that good. He ain't Burrow. He ain't Allen. I'd rather have this running back. Bro, if you don't get off my porch with that, these dudes, get up out of here. Support the team you got. Talk about the team you got. Develop the quarterback you got. And stop coming out here being on speed dating. You 50 years old, still on Tinder. You 50 years old, still swiping left and right, talking about she's hot. No, bro. She don't think you hot. Get your mind together. These dudes out here, man. This is what Todd Monken been telling y'all. He's saying to you, it's my responsibility to get it done. This is how we moving and how I'm going to move. These dudes be out here running around. Let me tell you about this too. I ain't got no time today. I got to get to certain things. I would save you with 3 hours, but this is back to back. We're going to go back to back haymakers with this. Let's continue on. Let's continue on. No, we ain't going to do that yet. Nope, we ain't going to do that. Let me tell you about this too. Yeah, you thought y'all was going to get away with that. Hey, you thought you were going to get away with that? Huh? Let me tell you what they mean. Best available ain't really what they mean. Best available really not what they mean. This gonna hurt some folks. You're like, dang, I ain't think. For some people, taking the best available argument got ulterior motives. Let's talk about the conundrum the Browns are in. Courtesy of 92 Through the Fan, Afternoon Drive, Nick Wilson, Jonathan Peeler. I actually agree with what they're saying right here. But a lot of people want to give you the opposite.
Took Tater Tyson at 6, you're going to be happy. And I think if you found a guy like a Chris Bell, a Ted Hurst, there are other guys kind of like middle of the second, third, fourth round, I think you're also developing someone in the future that you could look up, and all of a sudden you've got 2 really nice starting wide receivers.
I mean, I like Tyson. There's no guarantee that Tyson works. With his injury history and everything attached to him, Mike, it's not the layup. I think Carnell Tate's a layup. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's T. Higgins. I think that's totally fair.
I just don't see much downside in like the absolute floor for him is just it's still incredibly high, all things considered.
I also think
I don't think the ceiling's as high as people want it to be.
All right, here we go. So I agree. If you take Tyson, I may be skeptical of him. I may be skeptical a little bit. Of Tyson and what his injury history. I think Carnell Tate he's a plug and play, ready to go. You're better on offense. But I will hear the argument for people talking about taking the best available. Sometimes people have really good arguments about him, but sometimes people have really bad arguments about taking the best available. A good argument for taking the best available is saying, hey, you look at this player right here. this player right here mixed with Myles Garrett or Carson Schwarzenegger, that gives us a dominant defense. That gives us a defense that people is going to have a very high a high difficulty scoring points. That I can listen to that conversation. I also can have that conversation in terms of, all right, we now know what it is. We understand that, hey, we might not got Jeremiah Love. Hey, that guy's off the board. Maybe Cardinal Tater's off the board. So the positions that you may have needed that you thought you was really going to be able to fill those holes with really good players, they're off the board, offensive players. And you're staring at a guy who you didn't think was going to be there that you have on your board, a number 1, number 2, 3 overall big board type guy that's sitting right there in front of your face right when you take it at 6. I can understand that. I can get that. And that's a football conversation to be had. Let me just say this. But then there's a bad group of people. There's a bad, disingenuous argument that a lot of people are having that have nothing to do with them trying to be smart and getting the Browns better. The best to some people, if you listen to them, the best available is the undercover version, but anybody but Shedeur. Let me say that again. The best available argument is the undercover anybody but Shedeur philosophy, and I'll give you why. There are people right now that will advocate taking the best available player and hoping it was a defensive person. In that case, if they take the best available player as a defender, they're not doing it because they think that the Cleveland Browns are smart and judicious and are going about a way of building their team that's a little bit different than we once thought. They're not thinking, hey, well, that's the way the board felt. No, they are suggesting that as another undercover way to undermine what the Cleveland Browns will do in 2026. You say, G. Bush, that's a conspiracy theory. Here you go, bro. I was with you till you started the conspiracy theory. I'm telling you, I was with you, but this sounds too much like some tinfoil hat type stuff. You got to explain this one. Well, sure. I always explain it, and I always go give you what the lowdown is. Let's follow this little story, boys and girls. Say the Cleveland Browns do take best available. They go get Jalen Tyson, Cardinal Tate in the world that we live in right now. That means they got a good receiver. But say, for instance, just go off the beaten path a little bit. They go best available. They do take, I don't know, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Bailey, Ruben Bain, defensive, whatever. They take them. Defense looks crazy on paper. Defense looks wild on paper, right? Guess what? Season comes around. Shedeur Sanders is a starter. You know, you start off the season. Jerry Jeudy dropped 2-3 footballs. You lose a couple of close games, maybe if somebody missed a field goal. Shedeur's numbers, good, solid, but nothing crazy and spectacular. Them same people that advocated taking defensive players will then turn around and write Andrew Berry should be fired. You know why? Because they're going to say, well, Andrew Berry, yeah, you're good at drafting defensive players, but your job is not to draft defensive players. Your job is to draft for the overall betterment of the Cleveland Browns. That includes receivers, too. The Cleveland Browns offense, you fired Kevin Stefanski, and through 5 games, you're only averaging 2 more points. The quarterback play is serviceable, but you lack explosiveness, and you don't have a number 1 receiver. You had 2 first-round picks going into this draft, and you didn't fill any of those needs. To me, that's a fireable offense. As a matter of fact, I thought they should have fired you when they fired Kevin. Now you've squandered 2 first-round picks, and we're back in this conundrum. Also, they'll use that against the quarterback, whoever the quarterback's going to play, because it won't be, oh, well, he don't have no receivers, right? Because it'll be, well, the Cleveland Browns knew he didn't have any receivers last year and didn't address the need. So we don't have time to be figuring it out, because next year we need a quarterback. You see, advocating best available does not mean that they really want you to take the best available so the team can be good. They're advocating you take best available so they have an end card to get you up out of here. They want to trick you out of your position, because they're going to turn around and use that same logic to then write, you knew what the needs were and you neglected it. You knew what you said in your own press conference that offense needed to be addressed, and you've done neither. They'll then use that against Todd Monken if the offense don't look great. Well, Kevin's offense was, listen, Kevin did this in his first year. Todd's offense isn't. You see, sometimes you got to watch what people suggest, because they be really suggesting a lot of things that really don't really be getting you to where you need to go. These are the same people that suggested that you should have Kyler Murray and Malik Willis and Anthony Richardson and Ty Simpson. And I've given you the greatest hits list. They still mad that you didn't bring those dudes in. They advocated that you should have, what's the name? Kenny Pickett starting. I think Kenny is a young, stop. So don't think when somebody tell you take best available, they being smart. No. Best available is, let me go ahead and offer this up to you and see if you're a sucker and take it. Because if you do draft a defensive player, there's 2 things that you got to understand. He better be cold. He better be an impact player. That defense better be top 3. And on top of that, you hoping Shedeur Sanders take a huge step, and that step is dependent on Jerry Jeudy being Jerry Jeudy of not last year, but the year before. Cedric Tillman miraculously showing up and doing something. Maybe you get something out of Jamari Thrash and Isaiah Bond and turn himself into an elite playmaker. You want to trust that? You want to count on that? Because I'm here to tell you, they're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm letting the Browns, listen, these folks, they already big mad. That's why I hope you do what you're supposed to do. Finish your breakfast. They big mad that you done doubled down and you kept the whole quarterback room. They big mad Kevin Stefanski done got let go. They big mad that Jimmy Haslam to move the stadium to Brook Park. They mad about everything. All of it. You got 2 first-round picks. They don't care. Kick them picks down the road and get me something in 27. And by the way, lose as many games as you can so I can get me a new quarterback, a new head coach, and get rid of this GM. That is what best available means to some people. Boy, we moving along. 10-16. We making great time tonight. We making great time today. Before I get to, I want to do something real quick. Before I get to my thesis statement, you stick around. This right here, this Todd Monken offer. If you want to know how this thing layers up, you say, "Dang, G. Bush, you talking like you'd have been in the lab with Todd Monken." I said, "Nah, I ain't been in the lab with Todd Monken, but you know what I do know what Todd Monken is? I know exactly what he gonna do, and we're gonna go over some film, and we're gonna go over why this guy is going to be able to do certain things and what to expect. This is what I enjoy the most. But first, let me throw this out here quickly because I wanted to get to this. I said it earlier. Let me see. Let's get to the Cavs real quick. 1 o'clock. Let's take a look at this. 1 p.m. today, Cavs is taking on the Toronto Raptors game 1. Let's give you a quick preview of what's we're going to hit with this. All right. So we take a look at this. Let me throw this in here more. Barnes and the Raptors visit Cleveland to begin the playoffs. Toronto, 46-36, fifth in the Eastern Conference, takes on the Cleveland Cavaliers, 52-30, fourth in the Eastern Conference. Comes on today, Saturday, 1 p.m. on, I believe it's on, is it on Peacock or Prime? Peacock, is it on Amazon Prime? Hold on, let me see. It is on Prime Video. So on Prime Video. So Cavs are -8. Over-under is 219.5 points. Eastern Conference first round. Cavs host their first series matchup. The Cavs host the Toronto Raptors to open the Eastern Conference first round. Toronto went 3-0. Now, I will say this. Toronto went 3-0. This is all prior to James Harden getting here. At this time, the Cavs still had DeAndre Hunter and Darius Garland. Toronto went 3-0 against Cleveland during the regular season. The Raptors won their last regular season matchup 110-99 on Tuesday, November 25th. So it just goes to show you the early schedule was stacked super high November 25th, and the team wasn't who they are now. They actually led by 37 points from Brandon Ingram, while Donovan Mitchell scored 17 for the Cavs. The Cavaliers have gone 33-19 against Eastern Conference team. Cleveland is 7th in the East and rebounding at 44.4 rebounds. Evan Mobley paces the Cavs with 9.0 rebounds. To me, I look at this game. What you need from Evan Mobley is this is going to be an Evan Mobley versus Scotty Barnes matchup. They guard each other the most. And Evan Mobley didn't win Rookie of the Year. Scotty Barnes won Rookie of the Year. Now, Evan Mobley, to me, is the X factor in every series they play. If Evan Mobley plays well, the Cavs always have an opportunity to win. However, if Evan Mobley does not play well, you're looking at a situation where, you got to have Donovan Mitchell and James Harden filling in that role. And the thing about the reason they went and got James Harden is because I do believe the Cavs realized they couldn't count on Evan Mobley to be their second best player. They couldn't count on Darius Garland to be their second best player. This series, we're going to see how Mobley has grown 9 rebounds during this process. We'll see how that works. Cavs has gone 33-19 against the East. The Raptors have gone 33-19 against Eastern Conference opponents. Raptors have a 21-27 record against teams above 500. Cavaliers are shooting 48.2% from the field this season. 1.5 percentage points higher than the 46.7 from the Raptors allow to opponents. So in this situation, I think this is going to be a rough and tumble. Guys are going to be really rough and rugged. Guys are going to be really putting, physicality into the air. And I think that's what the Toronto Raptors want to do. They want to bully the Cavs. And as we've seen before with Jared Allen, and as we've seen before with Evan Mobley, the Knicks were able to do that. The Boston Celtics were able to do that. The Indiana Pacers were able to do that in previous exits out of the playoffs. How do they fare in this game? Also, let's get to this really quickly. Mitchell averaged 27.9 points, 5.7 assists, 1.5 steals for the Cavs. James Harden's averaged 15 3 points, 5.9 assists over the last 10 games. This is where I want to go with it. That 15.3 and 6 assists over the last 10 games, I get it. You're trying to fit your way in. I get it. You're trying to get people involved. You want to get Mobley. You want to get Allen. You want to get everybody involved. I get it. But let me just tell you this. This is a theme. You will hear it from G. Bush on the barbershop during the playoffs. If the Cleveland Cavaliers want to go anywhere, they do not need facilitator James Harden. Facilitator James Harden trying to get Strus and Mobley and Dean Wade shots early is not what the formula is. Yes, he still has to do that. That's part of his job description. He still needs to get 7 assists regardless. But the thing that I'm looking for is his aggressive nature. He needs off the pick and roll. He needs to be looking to get in the lane. He needs to be looking to be aggressive and get to the rack. When it comes off the pick and roll, if they sag and go under, I need you to be able to rise up and hit the step back. I need you to be looking for your shot. I need you to be understanding where you can get your shot. Because the only way to me that the Cleveland Cavaliers have a shot of getting to the finals, beating the Celtics or whoever the case may be and winning the championship is they need Donovan Mitchell, 30 points. They need James Harden, 30 points. And they need Evan Mobley to be an X factor. But you won't even get to Evan Mobley counting in the game if you're down 20 points early. The way teams shoot threes and the way teams are going about it, you're in trouble if you don't get to it right away. Scotty Barnes averaging 18.1, 0.7.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 1.5 blocks for the Raptors. Jacoby Walters averaged 2.5 made threes over the last 10 games. Last 10 games, the Cavs are 7-3, averaging 121 points a game. They play some bad teams down the stretch, but they did put up a lot of points during the last 10 games. 45 rebounds, 29 assists, 7 steals, and about 4 blocks per game while shooting 50.2% from the field. Their opponents average 119 per game. The Raptors averaging 119, 41 rebounds, 32 assists, 10 steals. That's big, 10 steals. Cavs got to stop turning the ball over too. 4.5 blocks per game while shooting 52% from the field. Their opponents average 107.6. So if you look at the injuries, everybody for the Cavs should be healthy. James Harden is good. Dean Wade should be good. Dennis Schroeder, Evan Mobley, Keon Ellis, Jared Allen is the only guy that I think may have a couple of issues in this series. He'll fight through it. Thomas Bryant day-to-day, Sam Merrill day-to-day. So the thing that I'm looking for, and I always will tell you, the Cavaliers, if the Cavs going to do what they need to do today to win game 1, I want to see what they're going to do coming out and aggressive-wise. I don't know what type of time they on. If I see James Harden got 25 points and Donovan Mitchell got 27, I see what type of time we on. I already know. But you can't come out here messing around with the Raptors trying to get other people involved. Game 1, this is the slate of schedules. By the way, 1.4 people in here watching. Hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button, bro. We got to hit that. Let's get to it. Game 1 is today, 1 p.m. Game 2 is slated for Monday, 7 p.m. NBC. That's the Peacock Network. It's kind of crazy because a lot of these games you really can't even watch. So Prime Video's game 1, Peacock is game 2. Game 3 is on Prime again. Game 4 is on ESPN. That's the first game that you're going to be able to see on regular television. And then game 5, if necessary, will be on Wednesday. And game 6, if necessary, Friday. And game 7, Sunday, May 3rd at 12 a.m. That's crazy. What? That don't seem right. At 12 a.m., I don't know about that. So, but go Cavs. We definitely want to get, we got to get game 1. Got to get game 1. Got to get, these two individuals ready to go. I'm looking for James Harden. I'm looking for Donovan Mitchell. Y'all got to get it done. So let's get back to it. Let's get to what you came for. Let's get to what you came for. Now, I've been doing this series. About what Todd Monken offense is. And the reason I do this is because, I got tired of talking about like things that don't necessarily be true. Like there's too many cliches going on right now. And one of the things and one of the problems that I had when I'm talking about the game of football is we've gotten so far left to where people can just throw stuff out there and you're like, bro, that's not what it is, bro. You're not about to be just throwing that out there. Like, that's not even accurate. Like, football has to do with X's and O's. It has to do with certain things. And one of the passions that I have for doing what we do at the barbershop is because I try to give you a, like, not saying that you don't understand. I'm just trying to bring it to light so that when somebody says certain things like, oh, let's look at the quarterback statistics and say that the quarterback was trash or the running back wasn't no good. And these people is telling you this from a position of nobody, and you ain't never even seen a running back. How you never tackle nobody, ever? You ain't never had to tackle a person You ain't never ran fast in any direction for more than 3 seconds in your life. You ain't never had, like, those things to me are things that matter. And so sometimes what I want to do is I want to show you and debunk and let you know what football is about. Last week, we showed you how Todd Monken plans on using tight ends and their alignment to get it done in the run game and the pass game. Well, this week, we're going to talk to you about motion. We're going to talk to you about the different positions that he places guys. But first, we got to set the table. We got to set the table. It's about creativity. You say, G. Bush, what are you talking about? See, football, and this is the thing that I've been drilling down on for a quite long time. Football is not about knowing what positions people go or what moves you can make or what the rules are. For far too long, we've boiled football down to those basic things and it's surface level. But what I've been studying for the last 5 years is what I really wanted to know is why are certain coaches more successful than other coaches? Why are certain coaches able to get certain things out of other players that other people can't? And what I've come to the conclusion is it's not about specifically your scheme or how you go about it or how much you know about football. It boils down to creativity. And that is what you need. And a lot of people don't think about creativity when it comes to sports. They think of creativity when it comes to other things. But creativity, you need creativity in everything. So let's talk about this really quickly. I'll show you this. Let's get to it. Get your thinking caps on, boys and girls. We going on a ride.
I think we forget that creativity matters everywhere. And creativity thrives in the face of problems, obstacles, or chaos. And I love when leaders get together and they face a challenge that they may have faced before. And somebody says, what if we tried this time? And I love the risk tolerance that goes along with trying something new in a leadership context. Because like any kind of experimentation, any kind of innovation, there is a risk doing something differently because it may fail and it may make a new problem, but it might actually work better. So I don't believe in blind risk taken. I mean, I think you have to consider what will happen, and if it does fail, what's the backup plan? But one of the greatest joys I've had in being a leader is when I have faced very difficult problems to try entirely new ways of solving that problem that are counterintuitive. But yeah, I think mixing it up, it makes for better leaders, like experimentation makes for better anything.
That's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. You got to be creative. You have to come at a situation differently. And one of the things that I've always said with the Cleveland Browns is they never came at the way they approached their offense with a fresh set of eyes. Everybody wants to talk about certain things. Everybody wants to talk about the same little, it's this, and we want to run bootlegs, and we want to. No, I'm going to show you today that there's levels to creativity, and why those that continue to peddle this nonsense that you want to get back to the basics, bro, ain't no such thing as getting back to the basics. If you ain't evolving, you're dying. Let's talk about the difference between knowledge and creativity. And then we'll wrap this all in to how this applies to play calling the Cleveland Browns and what we need to do to get where we need to go.
Knowledge is information, formula, facts, data. Intelligence is the ability to process that information in a constructive manner, our comprehension or our capacity for understanding volumes of knowledge or data. Creativity, however, is that unique ability to transform the information into an entirely original idea altogether. And that's why Albert Einstein, who's arguably one of the greatest creative minds of the last century and comes from a largely academic or knowledge-based background, was important when he said creativity is seeing what the rest of the world logically sees with their eyes, but yet thinking really like no one has ever thought before. And that is why imagination is more important than knowledge.
Imagination is more important than knowledge. Because you can know something, but not be able to articulate it. You can know something, but not be able to describe it. You can know something, but not be able to apply it to a real world situation. There are thousands of people in academia. Why you think you can't do nothing with a political science degree? There's lots of people in academia that knows a lot of different things. But how do you translate that into how you make a living? How do you translate that into whether or not I can start a business? You can have all the knowledge in the world, but you have to have functional creativity to use that knowledge and apply that knowledge to your life. Now that you understand why I believe creativity is more important than basic knowledge, I'll show you how this applies to the game of football. Here we go. Let's buckle up. I'm telling you. Let's go. Everybody in football knows the rules. Formations, personnel, down and distance. That's like knowing how the pieces move in chess. Anybody can line up in 11 personnel. Anybody can call a slant flat. Anybody can run the inside zone. That's not special. That's the opening playbook. But just like in chess, the difference between average and elite is what you do after the basics run out. Strategy is the foundation, but creativity wins games. In chess, you study openings, you learn structure, you understood positioning, but nobody wins at a high level just memorizing moves. At some point, the board changes. Now you got to think. Now you got to create. That's offensive football. The playbook gives you structure, but the play caller gives it life. The elite play caller thinks 3 moves ahead. Average coaches call plays. Elite coaches call sequences. They're not just thinking what works right now. They're thinking, what does this set up for later? Run outside zone, it forces linebackers to flow. Come back with the play action, hit the void. Then motion into RPO, punish hesitation. That's not play calling. That's positioning pieces for a checkmate 3 drives from now. Creativity is the engine. This is where the game separates. Because when the defense has seen your tendencies, when they study your formations, when you're predictable, that's when you're done. The best offensive minds don't just run plays. They reinvent the board. They use motion to stretch defenses horizontally. They build entire systems off RPOs and hybrid concepts. They tailor the offense to the quarterback, not the other way around. That's like sacrificing a bishop to open up the entire board. It might look unconventional until it breaks everything. Innovation makes talent look better than it actually is. This is the part people miss. Creative play callers don't just win games. They develop players faster. Because when your scheme is innovative, you simplify reads for young quarterbacks. You manufacture space for average receivers. You create angles for running backs that don't exist in basic systems. Now that rookie doesn't look lost. Now that mid-tier roster looks explosive. Why? Because the coach isn't asking players to win one-on-one every single play. He's creating a schematic advantage. Great coaches use scheme over brute force. Football used to be about lining up, being tougher, winning physically. Now, it's about spacing, timing, and decision-making. RPOs force defenders into conflict. Motion forces communication. Outside zone stretches the field until it breaks. That's chess. You're not overpowering your opponent. You're outmaneuvering them. Anybody can learn the rules. Anybody can memorize a playbook. But the elite, they just don't play the game. They reimagine it in real time. Because in football, just like chess, strategy sets the board. But creativity, that's how you win. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. Just like chess. You know all the moves in the world. Yeah, but what happens when you get outside of that scripted 15 plays and they already know what you're running? Then it becomes whether or not you're creative enough to be able to imagine on the fly. So when I look at offense and I talk about why it is that I believe that Todd Monken is able to do what he's able to do, and it's going to be put Shedeur Sanders in the best position to do that. It's the reason why a lot of people can't see it, because they're panicking and scared. Remember, they're scared because they think, how is he going to get more than 5 wins? Watch this. Let me show you. Listen, I don't play nothing. I don't play anything that does not have meaning. Remember that. I don't play nothing that don't come back to something. Even my shows is layered. Like play callers should have they play sheet layered.
Scary, Andy. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how you put that heat on a new head coach and say, "Hey, we expect to win more games." Really? Okay, let's see it. Good luck, because all the free agent quarterbacks who you might have thought could come in and improve this, they're gone. They're on.
Remember what I said. Great play callers develop faster, because what great play callers do is they don't ask and leave it up to a player to win one-on-one physically just because they're bigger, faster, stronger, or better talented. Nobody can do that in the NFL. When you're not creative and you're asking somebody to win one-on-one every play, that's not successful. Guys are too good. What he's counting on is, I know you're a good athlete, but the way I'm going to position you, where I'm going to put you on the chessboard, and the way I'm going to launch this attack is different. See, sometimes it ain't about who got the most weapons. Sometimes it ain't who got the biggest guns or bazookas or missiles. You see, back in the day when the United States took L's and the wars that the United States lost, go back and watch Vietnam. Did the Viet Cong have more weapons? No. They had home field advantage. They had great tactics. We're going to hit and run. We're going to hide in our caverns. We're going to make sure we're going to create guerrilla warfare. And that has been replicated in every other foreign war that has one superior superpower with bigger arsenal, more men, more might. You can't beat somebody who has a better strategy. So when you got a worse team and you may not have the best talent, guess what you do? It comes down to your scheme and what you can get. But if you don't understand that principle, if you don't have the principles and foundations of what it is and how offense really works and how football really works and how these are different places you can get things out of people, you'll never understand. You'll be scared just like that. You'll be confused. How are they supposed to do this? Well, I'll show you how they're going to do it. That's why you come over here to get with the barbershop, because we're going to show you exactly. I just don't say it. I I don't just tell you what I think. I'm going to show you why. This is the difference. You may not agree with what I'm saying, but I'm going to give you layers to the game. If the same way I'm asking for layers, that you're going to run an outside zone, then run play action, then run a boot, and then we're going to keep RPOs moving. I'm going to show you something, come back and layer. I layer my shows that way. So let me just tell you how Todd Monken goes to do it. I showed you how he's going to utilize the tight ends. Let me show you the way he utilizes. Let's get to this. We cooking. I know. I know. For some people, you just want receipts. I know. Some people just want receipts. But you can't just have receipts all the time. Sometimes you got to sit down and digest this. Let me show you this. Todd Monken's use of eye candy. What is eye candy? Coming up next week, I'm going to tell you about the way offensive football and what it has to do with Sir Isaac Newton and gravity. That's next week. But I got to set this one up first, right? Let me set this one up. Next week, I'm already going to tell you what it is. Gravity is everywhere, including football. But let me show you how he uses this eye candy, right? Let's go back to the University of Georgia. Let's go back to the University of Georgia.
Formation is this close slot trips open. Formation is a favorite of Monken's at Georgia. They use it a lot.
Now, remind you, if you were here last week, we talked about formation and how you line up. We talked about this stack formation and how he utilizes it a lot. Now, we're going to tell you what bells, whistles, motions, tricks, different things that he has in terms of creativity out of this formation. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get to it.
This close slot trips open formation is a favorite of Monken's at Georgia. They use it a lot. They have a lot of tags, a lot of different plays run out of the same formation. This is not an uncommon formation at all. It's just that I think Monken's pretty creative out of it.
What'd he say?
Watch this play.
What'd he say? He's just pretty creative. See, it don't matter. It don't matter what you line up. Creativity, look, there's rules that say how many people have to be on the line of scrimmage or it's a penalty. There's rules that say what you can do specifically and how you line up. But the true genius comes from, yeah, you can line up anywhere, but what do you do? What are you doing out of that?
And then we'll break it down a little bit and we'll look at some others that are like it. First, I want to look at the route and the quarterback's progression.
See, this is why I love this. Now, we talk about eye candy, right? As a defender, see, it's one of them things. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. You ever been out to eat out somewhere? And I hate when your wife do this. Your wife or your girlfriend. It could be an obviously attractive young lady, right? And that obviously attractive young lady walks close to you and your wife or significant other. Now, here's the problem I hate. Now, your wife know good and well she look good. Your wife already understands, hey, look at that attractive lady that just walked by me and my dude. Instead of her acknowledging it, she gonna look at your face and look to see if you notice that she attractive too. Look, I'm only talking to the guy. I'm telling, hey, fellas, you know what I'm talking about. Fellas, you know. She gonna turn around and look at you with her mouth like, come on now. That's what you say when you that's the same discussion is when you talk about with defenders. We talking eye candy, right? We're talking like, hey, that caught your eye. And what happens when something catches your eye and you ain't supposed to be watching it? You get caught slipping. So now watch how he uses this orbit. Watch how the running back moving. Watch how the alignment. Watch how the tight ends route. Watch how the backfield motion. All of these things are distractions. All of these things are distractions. And what you need to figure out is if that distraction is real, if that distraction is a real threat, or if it's a decoy, or if it's just something to distract you. Because when you think long, you think wrong. And guess what? Instead of you reacting on defense and getting downhill and hitting the guy in the backfield or reading your keys and getting to what you need to do, you're worried about the play action. You're worried about the running back's motion. You're worried about the motion and the tight end and everything like that. D-Skull, you know what I'm talking about. I'll be looking right at you in the face. Like, I'm like, man, don't look at me. You know, like, you the one, look, you know this too. How you get mad at me? Rosie over here still looking mad at me like that. She like, you better tell him I don't do that. Here we go.
On this play, the Georgia offense is a precise, fine-tuned offense, and the progression will be the same on almost all the plays we look at tonight. The quarterback will first read this vertical. The tight end is going to block, then release, run across. He's the number 2 look for the quarterback. The number 3 receiver runs an end around. We'll get to that later. Ends up to the flat. He's number 3 in the progression. And then the check down is the back, releasing to the flat at the bottom of our screen. This play popped up at least once in 5 or 6 of the games I watched from Georgia this year. It begins with a fake toss and an end around by the number 3 receiver to this side. You can see that this toss and the slide motion of the offensive line pull Oregon to that side. You can see that everyone's actively involved in the fake. This quarterback is excellent in terms of ball skills and play fakes. You can see the tailback raising his arms along with this fake toss right there.
Attention to detail. You see how everybody is carrying out the fakes. And one of the things that Todd Monken is going to preach is, guys, carrying out your fakes is not just something that we do. Carrying out the fake is part of the play. If you watch this play, when they snap it to him, they're faking the toss, right? That's holding these linebackers. That's holding these people. And then they're saying, okay, we got to freeze here. But now the orbit motion from the running back, that is also giving them something to worry about. And what it does, it gives you a couple extra steps. It gives you a couple extra feet in order to throw the ball, in order to get to your progressions. And that is how you can scheme open things.
That's where the quarterback and his progression come into play. He's going to read, as I said, first is vertical, go away from it. The tight end, after taking on blocks at the line of scrimmage, comes open on a cross. Watch it again.
Now, think about this. This is tough because notice that the tight end at the bottom of the screen is initially blocking. He's blocking for 3 to 4 seconds before he releases out into the pattern. That gives a false positive that says it's a run play to the defender. And then when we check and release, so 2 things happen. I then give you an opportunity to keep staying, and I could block, so I could give you more time to hit the receivers or see people downfield. I also give them a false positive in terms of what is it, run or pass. So now this guy is like, oh, he's blocking. I'm good. It's a run play. Let me go check the running back. No. This is a check release. Now he's off into the pattern. Wide open.
Same play design, same formation versus LSU. A little different in that they motion the number 3 receiver in. We then see the same orchestration work its way out, the same slide protection, leaving this end man on the line of scrimmage unblocked. They're going to bring the wing across the formation to protect that edge. We see the same play fake in terms of this toss. Same fake from the tailback, raising his hands, with the number 3 receiver extending his arms as if he's going to receive the toss. And we see the quarterback go through his progression. He's reading vertical, then he's reading cross, and then he's going to find the number 3 receiver coming to the flat. You can see ultimately that's what he does.
Easy yards.
Same play and formation.
Easy yards.
Raising his hands.
Now notice this right here.
Same fake from the tail design, same formation.
So notice when we talked about layering, it's the same formation, it's the same pattern, but they give you just slight variations. Before, they caught the tight end on a deep over route after he was blocking. Now they bring a guy in motion. Now you say, oh, it's the same play. No, slightly different variation. Now we run in motion, right? And instead of now we looking to get the deep over route from the tight end, we check it down to the running back, and now he's in space one-on-one, and we expect our guys and Quinshon Judkins and whoever it is to catch this football and give us 8 yards. Now think about it. You are now scheming guys open where you ain't lining them up. You're bringing guys everywhere.
Versus LSU, a little different in that they motion the number 3 receiver in. We then see the same orchestration work its way out, the same slide protection, leaving this end man on the line of scrimmage unblocked. They're going to bring the...
They leave the end man on the line of scrimmage unblocked. And what they really do is, if you leave him unblocked, what you're actually doing is you're nullifying and actually taking him out of the game. Because if he's unblocked, he has to make a decision. Do I think it's a run? Do I think it's a pass? Do I think it's the quarterback that's going to move? No. So he's basically sitting here. If you watch this defensive end, he's just sitting here in no man's land because they leave him unblocked. That's another creative way to stop rushers. One of the things that you do this is if you got a bad left tackle or you got a speed rusher, make that speed rusher make a decision. And this is another wrinkle that you can do to help your offensive football team out.
Wing across the formation to protect that edge. We see the same play fake in terms of this toss. Same fake from the tailback, raising his hands with the number 3 receiver extending his arms as if he's going to receive the toss. And we see the quarterback go through his progression. He's reading vertical, then he's reading cross, and then he's going to find the number 3 receiver coming to the flat. You can see ultimately that's what he does. Same play and formation versus Tennessee. Tennessee plays this very well. You'll see the end man go out and take the flat route. You'll see a safety come downhill, take the flat.
Now, the same variation, same situation. Now let's see what happens when people cover it up. I love the fact that this is, you're giving them the same look, but you're running different stuff.
This side, the tight end is covered. The quarterback takes his first read here. As I said, you do see a safety come downhill here, and that's probably why he takes this shot vertical. Again, we see all the same bells and whistles in terms of this fake toss and the end around.
And the reason why I picked this play is because I guarantee, and when you see it during the season, when you see this happen, you're going to say, dang, G. Bush talked about that play before we even got to it. Trust me, this play right here is going to be a deep shot with Isaiah Bond from Shedeur Sanders. They're going to run this same play, the same action, and they're going to, if that safety jumps up and runs up here to stop the play that we just saw, they're going to take the deep shot over the middle of the field, and Shedeur Sanders throws a beautiful deep ball, especially between the hashes. He threw it twice against the Chicago Bears, and even the trajectory and where he's throwing this football is something that you guys should be watching for. And they do a good job of covering it up, but I picked this play specifically just because I see this play, and this is what happens when people try to stop this. This is the extra that comes off of that.
And formation versus Tennessee. Tennessee plays this very well. You'll see the end man go out and take the flat route. You'll see a safety come downhill, take the flat to this side. The tight end is covered. The quarterback takes his first read here.
It is. There it is.
As
that's
I said,
the shot play you look for.
Safety come downhill here, and that's probably why he takes this shot vertical. Again, we see all the same bells and whistles in terms of this fake toss and the end around. Watch it again. This is the second time they ran this formation and this play design against Oregon. You can see the results a little different. Does give on that.
Up. Now, you didn't see the same formation. Same formation. Now watch what they do. They've been running it, passing it. Oh, here comes the option to throw the end around on this play. Malachi Corley runs the end around very well. He ran it this season. The reason I picked this play is because when they was running jet motion with him, he has good vision. He's able to get upfield. He did that a lot during the season. This is a play where you can see in Malachi Corley, they've been running different other variations of this. They've given the ball to the tight end. They've thrown the deep shot, which you may see to Isaiah Bond. They've thrown the ball to Harold Fannin Jr. Hey, they threw the ball to Quinshawn Judkins in the flat. Here's where we're coming back to. Now, you guys been stopping that. Here's the last wrinkle, and what we're going to do is same end around motion, but now we give it to the guy in motion.
Against Oregon, you can see the results a little different. Does give on that end around to the tight end, the number 3. Should be mentioned that the tight ends are really, really exceptional, really special at Georgia. All three of them. 19's great, 84's great, and 70 is a big weapon as well. The biggest differences that we see here have to do with the blocking or with the offensive line. The tight end on the line of scrimmage is just going to block off the ball. Wing is not concerned with setting up and pass protecting on the edge, but instead in getting out in front to block. And of course, the rest of the offensive line is run blocking and not in a pass set.
Again, you're not, this is why it's so beautiful, because you're not just sitting here. Let me just show you again. You're not sitting here and you take a look at this formation right here. You're not just sitting here telling yourself, okay, we're in the red zone. Let's hand the ball to the running back. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys in the box, 10 guys in the box looking at the running back. You know what they do? They don't just, Todd Monken doesn't beat his head against a brick wall. He says, let me go and let's level this thing up so I can give my guys leverage. Let me see if I can get my guys outside. They got this many people at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if those people in the line of scrimmage can read and react to what we're doing to. And instead of you just beating your head against the wall, he does it in a way where he could get his guys an advantage, and he walks in for a touchdown.
And on the line of scrimmage is just going to block off the ball. Wing is not concerned with setting up and pass protecting on the edge, but instead in getting out in front to block. And of course, the rest of the offensive line is run blocking and not in a pass set.
Walk in. No one touches him. Nobody touches him. And that, boys and girls, that is why we talk about what we talk about over here. We get to it, right? We talk about these things because, and we try to show you so that you can envision where guys for the Cleveland Browns would play a role in that. And if you watch that film, you saw the way Harold Fanning Jr. could be used. You see the way Malachi Corley can be used. You see the way Isaiah Bond can be used. You see the way Shedeur Sanders can roll and move outside of the pocket. You see all of those different people that you can see and envision the way Todd Monken could go about utilizing those people in a better manner with some of the things that he did. Stetson Bennett right there, Stetson Bennett isn't an NFL quarterback, but you know what he did with Stetson Bennett? He made sure Stetson Bennett understood, hey, you don't have the greatest arm, you don't have the greatest feet, you're not the biggest person in the world, but what we can do, we can make sure that you carry out your fakes, because carrying out the fake right now ain't gonna fool somebody. But guess what? In the fourth quarter, it might. When the defensive lineman is tired and when they run the sideline to sideline, my coach used to always say, fatigue makes cowards out of everybody. And now that fake can freeze you, a defender, long enough so that you can get the ball off, or that fake can take a guy completely out of the play. So what I need you to do is run that fake the same way you did it in the first quarter, in the second quarter, in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. The fake's got to be there. Again, it's the small levels, it's small attention to detail. And so when people tell you, I don't understand how they're going to go about doing it, I'm showing you how they go about doing it. See, that's the difference. You got to watch. The answers are in the game. The answers aren't created in your head and I don't know how they're going to do this. Well, listen, you can see how you're going to do it. Just go back and watch what it's funny. Film work can tell you the tendencies. It'll tell you what guys are going to do. And with Todd Monken, I'm excited for this series because now you're seeing, I want to paint the picture for you to show you specifically, this is how you can get it done. So when people keep telling you the Browns going to win 4 games, the Browns going to win 3 games, the Browns, I don't know how they're going to get this. They got the worst quarterback room in the world. The most fatal flaw in football is doing this. Is boiling down the game of football to whether or not you think this quarterback is a top 5 quarterback. Football isn't run by saying we got a bottom 5 quarterback room. There's been so much conversation about bottom 5 quarterback room, or not in the top, not in this. When you could really talk to yourself and say, why do you believe that? How do you get better at that? And what do you do to maximize the guys you do have in your room? And that is what this series is about. Next week, we talk about it. I'm a big person into science, as you can see. Sir Isaac Newton, gravity. We'll give you a gravity and tell you why offensive football and motion carries gravity. We'll talk about it next week. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get to it. Let's get to the super chats. Let's get to these super chats. Let's get to the super chats. Let's get it. Let us get it. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's cook. Yes, indeed. The Sauce A1 has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. I'm telling you, man. Shout out. I've been watching some of the comments. And I want to thank you guys for supporting, and everybody who got your t-shirts or any of the merch. Like, man, we try to pride ourselves on coming out with really good quality. If you're interested, you can check out bushlinebeauty.com. We got some very good quality, whether it's flags, whether it's cups, mugs, all that good stuff. Even the t-shirts we send out, we try to put our stamp of approval on them and make sure that you're getting heavy duty, good quality stuff that you can wear multiple times. You know how sometimes you get them shirts and put them in the washer and them boys just fall apart. Nah, we try not to do that. So the Sauce A1 became a YouTube member. And remember, if you're a YouTube member, you know what you get. You got to get that complimentary shirt. So if you don't know, you do know now. Send us your address, your size, and your name and information to fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com, fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. Everybody gets a shirt for their birthday, but some people's birthday already in the past, and they became a member. So we want you to get your shirt. Make sure you hit us up at fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com, and we will get that out to you. Beautifully blessed. We up and we stuck. Good morning, Barbershop. Good morning, G. Bush Rosie. # New Cleveland. Thank you so much. New Cleveland is in the building. We in here. But by the way, we got them New Cleveland shirts ready to go. Don't we, Rosie? # New Cleveland shirts is out. Make sure you drop them. Bushlinebeauty.com. You can get them right now. The Real Night King says, I'm not mistaken. He said it's pressure for a new coach to come in and win more games. Now, I'm not the smartest guy, but ain't that what job requires, not just from our team, but any team? The Real Night King. First of all, thank you for becoming a member for 6 months. Second of all, man, I'm with you, my dog. I mean, what does this come to? Isn't that the job description? Isn't that the job description of winning? Is like, hey, I actually need to win. I actually need to do better than the last team or the last coach or the last year. Isn't that what we're here to do? Like, it baffles me a lot when I hear this commentary, because a lot of it is like, dude, you do know that's what we're here to do and win football games. And so much of what we talk about is we'll get to a point where we start hammering the team. The team is losing, we losers, but then you advocate losing. How is it that you advocate losing, but then get mad because you lose? I don't know, man. I just don't know, man. Player spectating. What big snacks do you like? That his intro, G. What big snacks do you like? Oh, shout out to Big Snacks. He do got a nice intro. You got a new intro. You know what I'm saying? Big Snacks is out here doing. He got an intro, man. Shout out to him. We got to get Big Snacks back on, too. We got to get Big Snacks back on. Rich Wiley. It's sad the Cleveland media doesn't believe in the team, the player, or the coaches. No, it's not sad. I always told people, I don't necessarily believe it's sad. I just necessarily believe. So let's talk about this. I believe that people sometimes view it as a job. There are people who work jobs that are not a fan of their company. They just work the job. Sometimes you work a job, you're not a fan of your boss. Sometimes you work the job and you don't even consume the product you make. Like there's some people that probably work for cigarette companies. They don't smoke. So I think there's a point where there's a lot of people that really, when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, they view the Cleveland Browns as a necessary means to survival. And they really don't, some of them ain't football fans. Some of them really don't like football. Some of them really just do it as a job. But I think it's important that, you kind of have the veil of, yeah, I want the team to win, but it don't necessarily be like that. It just don't. A lot of people ain't, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just not built like that. I make it be known. I don't root for other teams. And I think for me, because I did play the game of football and I have been watching the Browns since the beginning of time, and that is my squad, I think a lot of what's going on is, I come about it different. I really want to see the Browns win. So at a certain point in time, I just don't be, even if the Browns is, and trust me, I'm not saying you got to come in here with and be a homer and come in here with, fake optimism. Trust me, everybody knows that I'll be watching these shows and I'll be doing my post-game shows, and I'll be mad just like everybody else when the Browns lose. But the thing that I'll be seeing is, at some point in time, I just can't. I don't. What gets on my nerves, and I don't like it, is I don't like glazing other teams, bro. Like, I get it. I'm always there to support and say, listen, I really shout out to that team is good. They really did their thing. Shout out to them. They really balled out. Shout out to that players who, I ain't got no problem with saluting a good player. Like, I'm not a hater. But the problem I got is don't go out your way to salute other players and go out your way to find positive remarks about other teams. But the team that you cover and the team that is right in front of you, you go out of your way to say bad things about. Like, if you're going to do both, just keep it consistent. Like, if you going out your way to glaze dudes that ain't even good, I'm like, bro, you can at least say something that's relatively positive. And then some of it is like, come on, bro, he's not going to be here in 3 years. That's just, bro, that's bona fide hater. So that's a bona fide hater. I ain't never seen that before. And that irks me, because that means that a lot of people don't base nothing on merits. It's based on how they feel. I feel this way about this person. Come on, man. How you going to feel that this dude ain't going to be here in 3 years and ain't coached the game? How you say that? How you, before people got on the field, you want them to lose. People literally mad because they didn't lose so I could go see another quarter. It's crazy. It's wild work. Reverend BJ Nelson, Garrett, have they always been like that, or did Kevin program this way? Now, I think Kevin is not the end all be all culprit. I think Kevin Stefanski, everybody, when you got somebody here, Kevin was here for 6 years. So in like any organization, if you're an important person that is one coach of the year or whatever, you're going to have people that rock with you. But the problem is Kevin Stefanski is not, he's not the problem. He's just a symptom of it. We've been doing this for years. And I think the symptom of it is, and I'm just be honest with you. Dang, Rev, I really want to go down this alley. But I'll start. I think that sports talk is elitist. I think sports talk it's a microcosm. It's a microcosm of our country as a whole. We have places in our country in different positions where there's a level of privilege that comes along with certain things. And for such a long time, this industry has been gatekept so tightly. Like, what I mean by gatekeep is you got people who decide who get to have a platform. We decide whether or not you can have a platform or you can say certain things. We decide who get a show. We decide who's worth listening to. We decide who we gonna put on the radio, television, or whatever, right? And when that happens, they can control exactly what you're thinking about and what you're watching. They can control what the messaging is. And for such a long period of time, there hasn't been any opposition to that. And what happens is when you get in the game, they give you the rules of engagement. When you get in the game, they give you the rules of engagement. They give you the rules of engagement. And sometimes what happens is once they give you the rules of engagement, they tell you specifically, all right, this is what you can and can't say. This is how you're going to move. This is what you shouldn't say. This is what you shouldn't do, right? They give you all those things. Put this back up. They give you all those things. And they tell you, okay, you can say this. You shouldn't say that. This is how we move it. The problem is that when you get there and people start doing that, then you get to a point where now everybody is thinking one way, one ideology, and this is how we're going to play the game. But I think the internet came about and internet changed a lot of that. And I think COVID changed a lot of it as well. COVID happened and people got a reset and they started to rethink what life is. People started to rethink what media means, what it means to be a person in the media. Everybody was at home. And then we realized, you know what? We like the honesty of people being at home. We love the honesty of the people. Players started to get around to it. People started doing blogs and people just got real. And then when we came back and everybody came back and we started to get back into the media, I think a lot of the media and the establishment media got a reality check. Because they got back and realized that they weren't the only ones in the game. They got back and realized that, man, guys are now challenging that. People are now challenging things. People are now challenging what you would think to be the truth. People are now on the internet that are giving opposition. People on the internet saying, nah, that's not really true. That's really not like that. That ain't really what it's about. And so I don't think it's the Cleveland media per se. I think the media in general got comfortable with them being the only voice. And when you in any place, when you have an echo chamber and it's one way of thinking about something and one way of doing something, you're going to be in trouble. Because the thing about truth and the thing that you have to have about content is there has to be somebody in the check and balance there to say, I need to speak truth to power. I need to be a person that can mention and talk about certain things. And now that is spread to the outside, that is spread to the community, and that's spread to a place where, no longer there's just one voice. And I think they're getting it's taking a time to adjust to that. Beautifully blessed. Now we need you both for the inside scoop and put an ignorance to bed. Get them credentials. So it's crazy. We good? I always tell people, let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. We back. I always tell people. See, a lot of people don't know. I got the credentials now. I've been had credentials. I got credentials from multiple outlets. I got credentials from the Bleacher Report. I got credentials from WKYC. I got credentials from Tegna. I still work at 92.3 The Fan. I got all the credentials. By the way, we're going to be at training camp this year. I was at training camp last year. We're gonna do it all the way around. That's how we're going to get it. T-Storm, VA 2012. G, can we have a draft-focused barbershop final cut this Wednesday? Top receivers, offensive line, how to improve special teams. When is the draft? Thursday. Yeah, we're going to get to that. We definitely going to talk draft. We got a special guest in the game, too. Doe B is Cleveland's own. Will be in the building. He's very passionate about Carnell Tate. We'll be talking about receivers and a lot, so he'll be on Final Cut on Wednesday. We definitely going to get to that. You know how we going to get with that. Hard pressure. Shedeur's confidence is always high, but he's a different player in that 2 jersey. The young guys that came in last season are the new faces of the Browns. Hard pressure, we appreciate to you. Yeah, I think a lot of it, what you see is you take a look in consideration of, I think, I even see this, and people be taking this the wrong way. There's a level of focus that only comes through what you came through in the hardships that Shedeur Sanders had last year. I just feel a different energy. I feel a different, I see a different, he done slimmed up. He's more calculated in what he's saying. He smell it. He feel an opportunity right now. He see it. And it's a different energy. And people say, nah, G. Bush, he always been like that. Nah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. It's a difference between going to battle when you know somebody is behind you or going to battle when you think somebody is against you. It's a difference when you believe that the coach and the general manager and the ownership group is backing you, actively talking about what you do well, actively envisioning what you can be in that offense, versus a person who they acted like was an outcast, a pariah, a bad thing, needs to be gone. That whole energy is completely 2 different energies, because at some point, even the strongest people start to feel a certain effect on their mental capacity or their joy. And I always talk about it, if the devil can't steal your joy, he can't keep your goods. And it was not fun. It probably was. Listen, there's times where I would go, think about this. I'm just talking about it. There are times where I guarantee I did not enjoy talking about Shedeur Sanders and having to argue with people for a whole year about stupid stuff, unfounded stuff, lies. And that's just me, and I talk about it. I ain't threw the ball, I ain't did nothing. Can you imagine what it was like for him? Can you imagine going to work every single day? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all that's going, when you going to work and you feel like you going behind enemy lines every single day, it's just like, come on, bro. It becomes draining. But when you finally get to where you need to go and all of a sudden people is feeling your energy, people is actually talking about you, people is collaborating, people is actually pouring into you rather than taking and chipping away, bro, you got a different energy. You ready to go. That's why I feel like the number 2 jersey it signifies all of that. It signifies, yeah, I'm back to being but I'm better though, because I went through that. Now I done went through it. I done came out unscathed. I done came out stronger. I done came out more of a leader. I done came out more energetic. You already know what we talking about now, bro. Hey, J Mac, the thing about it, G, they all wanted to be there just like you predicted. And thank you, Rosie, for the t-shirt. Much love for you and keeping your word. Of course. I told you, we don't. Nah, we say we gonna get you a shirt. We gonna get you the shirt, bro. We don't play that. This is one thing that I try to do and come across is I don't like to, and I know it's just, and me and Rosie do a lot because, shout out to her because, she got a regular full-time job and she's an accounting manager. So she be doing double duty, editing, sitting, checking her emails, and she do a real good job. But when them things come, hey, could you get that? Could you get that? She always answer on time and do her thing and get it out to y'all, because we feel it's important that if you're going to offer a service, that you offer it and be ready to do it and have it be top notch and not question whether or not you're going to get it. So thank you. I appreciate it. But I couldn't do it all myself, because there's a lot of times when she at work, she answering emails, doing other different things, working with multiple hats. So I couldn't have done it if she wasn't is diligent and watching some of that stuff and making sure that we get that stuff out to our people. And if you don't, make sure you give us a call, and you make sure you hit us up at Fifth Dimension Media 1, and we'll get it out to you. Right? Let's go to T Storm. G Bush, thank you for all the information regarding the upcoming draft class. I was listening to NFL radio. I was able to critique what they were saying based on the knowledge from the barbershop. That's the biggest compliment we can have. More than anything, we like having fun. We love having fun. We be having up a storm. It just seemed like a big family reunion over here a lot of times. But for us, it came to me a point about a couple of weeks ago was I got to start preparing my peoples. We got to start preparing our people to get past the war. See, a lot of times you can get caught. Like a lot of people over here fought to get an opportunity for the Browns to not just Shedeur Sanders, but for the Browns' younger cast of players to get a fair shot and a fair opportunity. Like, it was so much negativity out there that nobody was getting no information about the coach, no information about the young players, no context to what they're doing, not understanding what the film was. So what we decided to do was, listen, everybody can go to war. That's great. Everybody can go back and forth, and we can call everybody out. But at the end of the day, what are you doing to then move that conversation forward? And what I wanted to do, and trust me, this is how it go. God was like, listen, it's time to it's time to govern now. It's time to talk, because what happens, I want people to watch the barbershop, not because I'm calling people out. I don't want people to watch the barbershop just because they think I'm going to call out somebody that they don't like or somebody that they don't agree with. You know what I want? I want people to tune into the barbershop because they, A, think that it's entertaining, and B, it's informative, and C, they come away with something that they didn't get nowhere else. And to do that, I would be doing people a disservice if all I did is come out here and throw, and this person is crazy, this person is crazy, that cat don't know what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, that negative fuel will wear out. That's negative energy will wear out. Because what's going to happen, like I always say, what's going to happen to everybody that's the naysayers? What happens when the Browns is good? What are you going to talk about? What happens when the quarterback, you ain't changing quarterbacks because the quarterback is established? What do? What happens when it ain't about talking about a franchise quarterback or drafting a quarterback every year, or whether the Browns can change the culture and be relevant? What happens when you get to sustained success and now you need to get over the hump? You need to talk about how do we get better? What do we run? It's too late if you waiting a year in advance. It's too late. It's too late. We got to start now. I put out a great plan that shows you why I believe Shedeur Sanders will be the quarterback. But it don't do you no service to know that, but then not understand, because now I want you to understand, okay, well, what is the coach doing? Now I want to get you to understand, all right, what the running backs is doing. Because frankly, I would like to talk about the Cleveland Browns in general, not just Shedeur Sanders. I want to talk about, and I want people who came for Shedeur Sanders to say, I'm a Browns fan. See, that's always been my vision. That's always been the vision. It ain't been about one or the other. It's about bridging the gap between the two and getting and growing the Cleveland Browns so that, in 2 years, when we sitting there all together with all our uniforms on, we all sitting here the same way that them folks watch Colorado every week. I want them to watch the Browns like that. That's what my vision is. I want Browns fans everywhere. Why do you think we shout out all the places that we at? Why do you think we shout out where you calling from, where you pulling up from? Sometimes this type of content is the only lifeline you got. Because if you're watching other stuff and you out of state, out of country, you may not ever see the Browns on TV. You may never have nobody talking about them where you come from. You ain't never going to see another jersey. But at least if you pull up to the barbershop, you going to get a slice of home, a slice of your team where you can watch and enjoy and say, man, I got like-minded people that's talking about what I'm talking about. That's what we want to do. That's it. That's all. Devon Reed. Two got the starting spot locked. The team believe in him. Monken behind him. It's his to lose. And you know why? He didn't listen. He approaching it with that energy. People say, I don't know what it is. No, that's quarterback one energy. They didn't told him what he needed to do. Here's the way I think it happened. This is why I like to be a person of my word. Here's the way I think it happened. Todd Monken had already sat down with him. Andrew Berry had already sat down with him. They said, here's what I want from you. We believe in you. If you do X, Y, and Z, you the guy. And not only if it's X, Y, and Z, you the guy. If you do X, Y, and Z, I think you could be successful and you could be the franchise quarterback of this team. And it's different. Remember, I just told you, it's always different when somebody is backing you than when you're trying to prove yourself. When you're trying to prove yourself, it's an uphill battle. My dad always said, like the girl that like you. If you go with the girl that like you, guess what? She may overlook a couple of things that you got in your personality. But if you barking up the wrong tree, if you got to convince somebody, hey, I'm a guy for you. Nah, bro, she gonna look at you. You're gonna be under a microscope. It don't work that way, right? When you got a coach and a general manager that believes in you, it gives you an extra pep in your step and motivation to know, listen, this is my job. I don't care what you was doing yesterday, today, 3 years ago. It's my job, and you're going to have to catch me. That's why it's funny when people talk about that pressure. Pressure ain't the same. Pressure is not getting no reps all camp, being thrown into a game with the coach who you know don't like you and ain't planning on playing you, and you got to put up numbers to make sure, good enough numbers, that you can guarantee that you'll even see the field again. That's pressure. T-Storm. NFL radio analyst picked Tyson as the best receiver in the draft, but said nothing about his injury history. Nah, I can't take you seriously. The injury history for Tyson is questionable. Like, that's going to be something that's you have to talk about. You can't skim over that. You can't gloss over that. You must talk about his injury history, because when you're picking a guy like that, trust me, I done had ACL surgery, 2 of them. I know that he's a way better athlete than me, and that was a couple of years ago. But that's still on your medical. Then you talk about hamstring. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how they repaired them. Sometimes they won't do this. Back in the day when you used to have ACL surgeries, they would take a ligament from your hamstring and then take a part of that and sew it back up and then use that as a knee ligament because you blew out your ACL. They don't do that anymore with players because it weakens your hamstring. So now they usually go with cadavers. And basically, the only problem with that is if the tissue doesn't take, you can end up with a situation like Odell Beckham Jr., where that tissue kind of dies and disintegrates and you got to go in all over again. But that's in a rare situation. But the injury situation with Jalen Tyson has to be talked about because if you haven't done anything yet and you just running routes, that's a thing. Nancy, M745, did everyone miss Jimmy's exit interview where he was ecstatic that we closed the season with 2 division games as well as AB? Zion said Zion's first speech by Todd Monken talked about changing the culture and winning. Nancy, they glossed all the way over that. He talked about, and they tried to laugh at it. This is why it looks like it was funny, because remember, I said, hey, Shedeur, you want to make a bunch of people mad? Go out and win these next 2 football games. Now, mind you, you can actually jumble in the game against the Buffalo Bills. If it was not for an offensive line that could not sniff a cold in the last quarter of the game, the Cleveland Browns were in a position to win that football game. They lost 23-20. They come back, they beat Aaron Rodgers and a division rival, but Aaron Rodgers is the upgrade, right? Okay. And then they beat Cincinnati with a guy that y'all believe is a top 5 quarterback, with a guy that you believe is a top 3 receiving, with people you believe is the number 1, number 2, or number 3 receiving core. So the Cincinnati Bengals had Burrow, Chase, Higgins at home against a team that did not have Junkins, against a team that did not have Fannin, against a team with a makeshift offensive line. And they win that game on. And the crazy part is they dismissed that like it. Bro, I've been around this thing for years. You know how hard it is to come by these division games? And the owner was right to say it. He said, we won that game led by rookies. Even the rookie kicker made the game-winning field goal, and they had nothing to play for. To me, that means more than everybody knows, because that shows me what kind of dog you got. See, I've been playing on teams where ain't nothing going wrong or ain't nothing go right the rest of the whole season. And by the time you be getting to the last game of the season, you ready to go home unscathed and get on vacation. The Cleveland Browns, led by rookies, won 2 division games with teams that were trying to win. That tells me something. That tells me something. The Real Night King, yo G, how is it they say we should lose games, but when we do, they complain? Well, because I don't think that they're not Browns fans. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Y'all let me know if I'm gonna ask you. Put it in the comment section. Is love or hate a stronger emotion? Love or hate? Which one is a stronger emotion? Some people don't love their freedom. They just hate the idea of being incarcerated. Negative consequences always are going to hit different than positive ones. Don't believe me? Let me tell you. People don't not rob banks because they're good people. People don't rob banks because they know if I go to rob a bank, I'm going to jail for a long time. And chances are, I don't know very many bank robbers that continue to get away with it. So you know the probability of you getting away with it is slim. And you know that when you get caught, the probability of you going to jail is very high. So therefore, the risk reward on that outweighs anything you're talking about. It ain't the fact that you're a good person and you don't believe stealing is wrong. It's the fact that you know you're going to jail. So when it comes to, negative commentary gets more views, clicks, It moves people either way, one or the other. Either somebody gonna be like, you idiots for this, or somebody gonna be saying, oh, I agree with you. But either way, it's gonna move you to action. And the number one thing that you always want to do, and I've been to broadcasting school and communications, the one thing you want to do, if you want to be a sports talk person, if you want to be a person, you got to realize this. And you move the crowd. If you want to be an MC, you got to move the crowd, whether that's a rapper, whether that's a DJ. If you just a sports talk person, you got this microphone, you got to move people. If you're not moving nobody, if you don't move nobody to an emotion one way or the other, you're out of here. And sometimes people use negativity for that. Nancy, especially being too, is smart. He's not doing interviews. He's not doing a shoe deal until he is waiting for the football to speak for himself, because he knows the rest will follow. That's what I'm talking about. See, look, hey, yeah, yup. Nancy, you getting it. Nancy, you getting it. Somebody give her a round of applause. Nancy is getting it. See, he wising up on, listen, he's subliminally speaking to all his supporters. He's subliminally talking to y'all. He telling y'all, hey, listen, hey, I got it. Don't even trip. Shh. He gonna move in silence. He ain't doing no interviews. He ain't doing no shoe deals. He didn't even have no crazy posts when he went back to 2, did he? No crazy posts at all. He said, yeah, I'm back. Bro, only thing you seen, see, he playing. I'm excited. Because he playing the game. He's playing. See, them folks up here, they diabolical. They try to get you, they catch you slipping all the time. But what I like about him, he's a quick learner. I seen how he adjusted to the game quickly. He ain't no dummy. Shout out to Prime. They ain't silly. They understand exactly what it is. You see, what y'all don't realize is this. Let me just give y'all a little hint. Prime already been in the media for 30 years prior to him doing any coaching. Y'all forgot? So you forgot that Prime wasn't on the NFL Network? He wasn't on Fox for years. He don't know how it worked. Before he was getting interviewed, he was interviewing folks. So he understands intimately how the game go. And the way that they done orchestrated and game plan this thing, I said, dang. You know what's crazy? Ever since the Pro Bowl, they didn't have it all zipped up. Ain't nobody saying nothing. They just going about that work. Ain't saying nothing. They ain't had no big billboards, because guess what? What they doing is you see how useless the attacks is? Do you see how useless the misinformation is? Everybody is buttoned up. Myles Garrett done said it. Quinshon Judkins done said it. Man. Denzel Ward done said it. And then everybody did what they wanted to do and went about their jobs in their days. Nothing to see here. You know, the only person that's talking, Todd Monken. And all he doing, showing love. At the same time, keeping it solid. At the same time, being like, well, listen, Deshaun, hey, Dylan, we're going to give everybody an opportunity. Don't give nobody no opportunity. They cooking. Tell you what. G, did you see talking to Shiloh about patience? Richie Wiley. I didn't see that. I didn't get a chance to check that out. I'm gonna have to check that out. Did you see that? Rosie done seen it. You know, she's a CU auntie. You know what I'm saying? Did you get your 2 jersey yet, Rosie? Yeah, it's coming, right? You know what I'm saying? Rosie, listen, I'm trying. Hey, chat. I'm trying to decide, man. Should I take Rosie want to go to the Chris Brown and Usher concert? Should I take her, chat? Yeah, that's a diabolical concert, bro. We might have to take her. She trying. You can't go backstage though. You can't go backstage. Usher and Chris Brown at the same place is diabolical, bro. Yeah. I mean, I got to take her myself. You know what I'm saying? She can't go with none of her friends, bro. You know, Chris Brown be out here. That man Usher is diabolical, man. You see what happened, man. Be skating around on skates around your girl. So caught up. Got me feeling it. I mean, come on, Chris. Hey, come on, Usher. You can't be skating around my girl right now, bro. This is for you. You, my number one. Nah, bro. No, Usher. You need to calm down. It's like, nah, I'm gonna take her out there. Let me know if I should take her. Put it in the comment section. Is it safe to take your girl to the Chris Brown Usher concert? It's a lot of moving. Let's see. Nancy, when is Final Cut gonna be in the new studio? We still working. Nancy. Nancy don't forget nothing. Yeah, she don't remember nothing, do she? Don't forget nothing. Team Storm VA 2012 says, Coach Monken is literally Chris Tucker. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Yeah, you're right. Alexander Gallant says Cleveland will be at the epicenter of football in 2026. I'm gonna tell you what. Why you think I do food blogs? I ain't doing food blogs for y'all or for me. I'm doing it for y'all. When y'all come up in here, you're supposed to know where to go to the hotels. You're supposed to be knowing where to eat, get you some food at. I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be definitely the epicenter of football. See, what people don't realize is let the Browns get off to a 2-0, 3-1, 4-1, 5-2 start. What? People gonna be here. It's gonna be the talk of the town. It's the talk of the NFL. Young, exciting team. First-time head coach. Todd Monken gonna be giving you sound bites. Quinshon Judkins gonna be hungry. We about to have a top flight receiver coming in the draft or in the next couple of days. We're gonna have more weapons to add. And think about it. I'm breaking it down right now. I ain't even told you about the new dudes. We ain't even talked about the new guys. We ain't even talked about the new dudes we about to get in the draft, 2 first-round picks. Man, we got one of the most young, exciting offenses in the game. And don't let them tell you they said so. I don't want to hear none of it. I don't want to hear it. Do not be on your radio I'm telling you now. I need everybody to remind people. Listen, I ain't going to do the receipts because I ain't got time for it. I'm going to be too busy breaking down these wins and losses. But you need to let them folks know. No, sir. Sir, you know. You were talking about how bad the Browns were. You talked about how bad the roster was. You said it was a bottom 5 quarterback room. You said they don't know. Todd Monken only took the job because they forced Shedeur on him. No, sir. Sirs, you didn't say that you had a feeling there were. No, you said start Deshaun Watson, even though it might not be the best thing because it takes pressure off. No. So when these wins start to get jumping, I need you to remind these folks, no, we will not be doing no jumping back and forth. We'll let you get on the bandwagon, but the thing about the bandwagon is you're going to have to sit back in the back and be quiet. We'll let you on the train, but you will not be leading the train, jumping up with the pom-poms. When you, sir, said this was a terrible roster, so many holes, we got all these players, young players. How you got the defensive rookie of the year? But you keep telling me Andrew Berry, it's drafts. Bro, you got the defensive rookie of the year. You got a running back that missed half the games. He missed games earlier this year. Then he got hurt to end the year, but led your team in rushing and had multiple plays called back. because we couldn't block nobody. You had one of the best young tight ends in the history of your organization. And he didn't even play the last couple of games. How you got all of that? And still you telling me you not, this team is, Myles Garrett just broke the sack record. What are we talking? You had a rookie throw for almost 400 yards, a fifth-round rookie, 400 in a game. But we ain't got nothing to be excited, nothing at all. I love the fact that every player that talks to the media has said that Todd Monken told what is expected of him in the first meeting. Already different. Already, Nancy. Already. You already know what it is that he expects and how they're going to utilize him. You know why that is? Because every single player now can get to work. Ain't no vagueness. Well, I think that all of our rookies, boy, this is what I'm looking for. Let's get to work. And everybody out here cooking. Telling you, man. Big Mad 5653. The Saturday sermon coming with a side of Big Mac, a quarterback one and a sanctified soul. You know what it is, man. We appreciate you. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a good year, man. I'm telling you. Listen. It's going to be an exciting year. And I know a lot of people ain't telling you that, and maybe they don't see it. But sometimes a lot of people can't see the vision. But I don't know why you wouldn't be excited about this type of energy. Why you wouldn't be excited about this, man? See how the way the coach talking? You got 2 first-round picks? It's crazy. We got 2 first-round picks. They act like that's a problem. We need more picks. Trade down. We don't like this draft. I don't understand, man. What do y'all like? What do you like? I just want to know. I just want to have a conversation personally. What do you don't like the quarterback? You don't like this draft class? You got 2 first-round picks. That ain't good enough for you. You want them to trade down and get some more picks next year. You don't like the owner. You don't like. My Lord. Black Angus, these dudes want to trade Miles for draft picks, but then turn around and say, if you don't draft these playmakers, you play against them. Bro, Black Angus, what did they want, man? Let me help you. Let me help you. I want to figure out what you want, because we don't even be happy talking about the draft. You see the painful anguish in your faces when we talk about draft? I said, I ain't never seen a team that need playmakers, that have picks to get playmakers, and the best playmakers on the board where you at, and you feel like this is bad because you don't know who to take, and you want to trade down to get more picks so that the Dallas Cowboys can move up and get, boy, I don't understand, man. I don't understand. Somebody let me know. Please let me know. Alexander Gallant says, Coach Munson, let him know I am him in coaching. That's it. And by the way, I just didn't take his word for it. Why do you think we come in here and break down his film? Why do you think we're doing training classes on offensive playmaking? Formations, motion, personnel groupings. The reason we're doing that is to either prove or disprove that he is him. We're not just taking his word for it. All of that stuff I seen in Georgia is more complex than anything Kevin Stefanski ran in 6 years here. That's more complex than anything Kevin has run in 6 years. Why you think he walking around talking about, man, I don't need to show up to this. I'm going to give me a sweet haircut. He was just in Baltimore. With Lamar Jackson, he won an MVP. By the way, you got a coach who just coached. Think about this. You got a coach who coached an elite quarterback, who just won an MVP, and a coach that led one of the best programs in the last 30 years in the Georgia Bulldog to 2 national championships. But you say he won't be here in 3 years. That's wild work, bro. It's wild work, man. I can only follow one Cleveland team at a time. You need to drink. I would need to drink to do 2. Hey, Miss Bell, we take baby steps. We'll take small steps, Miss Bell. We're not going to indoctrinate you early. I know your blood pressure be rising with just listening to the Browns. I get you. Well, I'll call you up and see how you're faring by the second round. I don't want to give you too much to think about right now. I get it. G. Bush, why Cleveland are Big Matt, AB, and Monken are standing on business about Shedeur? If it wasn't for 2, no one would be making money. Remember I said about a level of privilege? Sometimes when you're the only one in the game, somebody always told me, this microphone is intoxicating. Let's be honest with you. Because what happens is once you do it long enough, there's this self-fulfilling prophecy that kind of builds in you. It is because I said, like, it's a thing. And to me, I always have a conscious effort to always check that. Because I don't think that you can be a good sports talk host unless you are able to speak with a level of conviction about anything. But that's a double-edged sword, because when you're able to speak with such conviction, sometimes you may have the ability to sway people who don't really do a lot of critical thinking. And then what will happen is I don't want to get to an echo chamber that I'm saying stuff and it's out of tune with reality. I always need, like people say, now we trying to get rid of the haters. No, I need the haters. You know why? Because I need to always self-guess and judge whether or not I'm in the right mode. Am I talking reckless or am I talking stupid? I need checks and balances. And a lot of times when you do this job for so many years and you're the only person there and you're the one of very few many voices, sometimes you can elevate your voice in your mind to a place where you're really not at in real life. You can elevate your voice and have the level of importance where it's just like, I'm it. And it's tough because, I think that you do have to have a certain mindset to be in the media or be a journalist or certain things. But it also comes with checks and balances too. It's one of them things where you can have blind spots about certain things. And I think a lot of people have a lot of blind spots in it. The thing that always get to me is this, and it just goes to show you how strong propaganda is. Negative reinforcement is stronger. A lie told over and over and over again will always have more pull than the truth. Because the truth is always spending time to debunk the lie. And while you're trying to debunk the lie, you're not getting across your point. All you're trying to do is fight against something that is an imaginary boogeyman. And you can't fight against imaginary boogeymen, especially in people's minds that don't want to have their minds changed. So what you have to start doing is not even talking to them folks. My job, look, I understand how the game gonna work. I am never going to try to convince nobody who thinks a certain thing that is already dug in. I'm not trying to convince you. I just tell you like this. under no circumstances when it turns are you going to be the pom-pom leader. We're not going to do that. Under no circumstances, that's how we're getting it done. Let's get to the next one. Let's go to, let me see what this is. Let's get what this is. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Charles T. Can you ask the UCSS crew, has there ever been a superstar the Browns were going to sign, but cap or money was an issue since Watson signing? We gave 2 wide receivers big money. Fake works trade ever narrative. Ooh. So let me, man. Oh, boy. Dang, these super chats, I had planned on flying through these super chats. I had planned on flying through them. I was going to get y'all off the books and get off here and go talk about these Cavs. But dang it, Charles T., you done brought me back in. So, has there ever been a superstar the Browns were going to sign, but cap or money was the issue? There it is. The Deshaun Watson issue is akin to the Shedeur Sanders issue. Let me start by saying this. Deshaun Watson They weren't mad with Deshaun Watson about the money. That was used as a way to justify what they was talking about. Let me go ahead and let me rephrase it and bring it back home too, so it makes sense. Deshaun Watson, when they went and got Deshaun Watson, everybody in the world thought it was a good move. Everybody in the world thought it was a good move. The revisionist history where people talk about they didn't think it was a good move, they didn't think it was a good move, they didn't think it was a good move. No. Everybody and their mom thought it was a good move. Deshaun Watson's deal fell apart when they hired a female judge to make a judgment on his ruling. He said 6 games. The NFL came back and gave him 11. After they said he was going to make the decision. They only did that because they needed to look a certain way. So they said he has these allegations against all these women. We're going to put a woman judge and we're going to have her preside over it. And whatever she says, retired NFL or retired federal judge, whatever she says, we'll roll with it. She comes back with the verdict, it's 6 games. They say, oh, no, we can't do that. We're going to give you 11. Most would say, well, that was because they found that, it was more egregious. I said no, because Robert Kraft had allegations, but guess what? He didn't get suspended all them games. What it was Jimmy Haslam was put on the probation list because he gave away a guaranteed deal. It was a deal that later on Lamar Jackson said, oh, if he getting guaranteed money, I want guaranteed money. Kyler Murray's contract was coming up. He said he won't guarantee, I'm getting guaranteed money, and he got suspended. I ain't got no issues. Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk talked about this. Basically, they talked about the league coming together saying under no circumstances are you ever to give out contracts that are guaranteed. And this is the reason why. They use that as a punishment tool. You ain't allowed getting off. You ain't allowed giving out guaranteed contracts. It had nothing to do with the allegations. What happened after that, after he got the 11 games, it started to snowball. because they suspended him for 11 games. So that means they had already given up all the picks. The money was never really the issue. They had given away all the picks because, like you said, Mr. Sir Charles T., the Browns never couldn't sign nobody based on nothing. Because the way that y'all got to understand is, it is true. The salary cap is monopoly money. It's the same way people do creative accounting. It's the same way people amortize debt. It's the same way there's tax shelters and tax breaks that you have. The NFL is controlled and owned by the NFL. It isn't the FDA or it isn't the IRS telling you what you can do. You know what they do? They make their own rules. So they came to the conclusion that Deshaun Watson's contract, yes, it was prohibitive, but they said, all right, well, all we're going to do is keep him on the roster, and we'll keep him on the roster, and we'll keep kicking the can down the road, and we'll keep refinancing until we can get him off the books. The problem with that was this. Some fans didn't like Deshaun Watson because of the idea of the allegations, and they never really even looked into it. Some fans didn't like Deshaun Watson because he took over for Baker Mayfield, and they were Baker Mayfield fans, and they didn't like it. Some fans were okay with whatever came with it, but as long as he stepped on the football field and played well, they was going to accept it. But he got suspended for 11 games. So then he said, you done got yourself suspended. We can't even use it. I don't like it. Then some people was upset that he came back, got injured again twice, and wasn't good. So, and then finally, there was a group of people who have a misnomer about what the guaranteed contract is and the money. That's a red herring. It doesn't matter. The money's already gone. So you have all of these different things about Deshaun Watson that people don't like, and they use all of them in one big jumbled, he needs to go away and leave based on what? But I keep trying to tell him, Charles T., there is no you just get rid of him. The Browns don't have a problem with Deshaun Watson. It's business. They made the move because they thought that they can get over and do it. They got smacked on the wrist by the NFL, and you know how they get out of it? Go get another young quarterback that's cheap, that can play, and that is on a rookie deal. That just so happens to be Shedeur Sanders. Now you can keep Deshaun Watson on your team. And by the way, Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders get along. Not like he cares. You think that Deshaun Watson is tripping? And on top of that, Jimmy Haslam has no problem with Deshaun Watson. If you say what you want about Jimmy Haslam, he's given extra chances to he stood besides Deshaun Watson. He talked about Josh Gordon. He was suspended on and off for drugs. Guess what? He gave Kareem Hunt another opportunity. Myles Garrett has had some run-ins with tickets or should, like, let's be honest. Like Quinshon Judkins, he had allegations. Isaiah Bond had Jimmy Haslam will give you an opportunity. So Jimmy Haslam never had a problem with Deshaun Watson. Still don't to this day. But a lot of people in the media do, because remember, a lot of people never liked Deshaun Watson, and they say it's because of a lot of things, right? But let me just tell you something. Let me just keep it real with you. It's not just Deshaun Watson. You can say you don't like Deshaun Watson because of the allegations. Well, you don't like Shedeur Sanders because why? He don't got no allegations. He helps the community. He comes from a good family. Ain't never said no. So why you don't like him? You don't like, you say, well, so if he was good, I would know, because you want to trade Myles Garrett. He's good. He's the best player we got. You want to get rid of him too. Remember, back in the day, it wasn't just about that. Remember the whole helmet incident? Oh, don't say, see? Remember the whole helmet incident where everybody in Cleveland sided with Mason Rudolph? Okay. You don't want to say nothing. Oh, what did Odell Beckham Jr. do? Yeah, I never liked him. He's not from here. Never liked him. He has to go. Juice ain't worth the squeeze. Who do you guys like? Seems to me you have a problem. Never mind. Let's continue to go, Charles T. I was long-winded on that. G. Bush, my Kool-Aid Mafia cup is everything. It's good quality, really heavy. Not surprised because my sweatshirt and shirt are great too. Thanks to you and Rosie. Miss Bell, we know you're a straight shooter, and it takes a lot to impress you. And I'm glad you enjoy your Kool-Aid Mafia cup. We like to have heavy duty. We like to get it done. Alexander Gallant, I say draft Big Joker Carnell Tate in the 6th round, or Carnell Tate in the 6th round. I think he meant the sixth pick. I'll take him as well. I'll take him as well. Can we get that? Carnell Tate. Yeah, we'll take that for 200, Alex. Sell Mo Fun. All our life, we've been looking for someone like two. And I thank God we finally got you. It's time. It's Todd Monken and AB desire to set this town on fire. And those haters out there talking smack, y'all preaching to the choir. You see what you did with that rhyme scheme? I like that, Sell Mo Fun. We've been waiting for somebody. We've been waiting to get. And it's funny, it's ironic. I think that if you wanted to get out of Deshaun Watson contract, I think you should be excited for Shedeur Sanders. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? And I think it's funny too. There's certain people talk about Ty Simpson. If you miss on Ty Simpson, then it's not that much money. You could just move on. You got to. Well, why wouldn't you say that the same thing? Shedeur Sanders is cheaper than Ty Simpson if you draft him in the 1st round. What's the problem? Why can't you use the logic for that? Well, I forgot there is no logic. There's no logic. David Walker says it's time for AB to get a great draft. Old Cleveland is so used to losing that they know that they don't know when they've won. It's time for 2, and it's time for #New Cleveland. All he needs is one more. See, this is why this season is so pivotal. This season is so pivotal because it sets you up for a position where 2 drafts in a row with all these young players coming in and you done got you a quarterback. What they don't understand is if Andrew Berry get another draft and the Cleveland Browns ball out this year, they about to give him a doggone what's the name. He about to get an extension. Watch this. I don't even know why I want to say that. Don't say that. Hey, I'm going to just prepare y'all. So watch this. If Shedeur Sanders is good, the fight ain't over. Say, for instance, he comes out here and he's good. I mean, 3,800 yards, 32 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 4 more rushing touchdowns on the ground. You know what the conversation gonna be, right? Because you think that y'all having a crazy argument now. Be ready for it. I'm just preparing you for it. You know Shedeur Sanders only got a 4-year contract because he's not 1st-round pick. After next year, he'll have 2 more years on his deal. The conversation will be, when are you extending Shedeur Sanders and how much are you going to give him? And guess what? You thought there was pushback now? Oh, wait till that pushback comes, where you're going to be arguing and jumping around, going back and forth with people about, is he really worth the money? Is he worth it? I mean, he played well this year. I got to see it 3 years in a row. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro. This stuff don't stop. That's why I'm trying to get your mind together. It's coming. It's coming. You go say, G. Bush said that 4 years ago. That's crazy work. Jason Cozy, became a YouTube member. Thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Mike Stephanie, Rosie, to you is what my Keisha is to me. They don't always get the credit, but they do most of the work. Mike, I agree with that. I'm gonna give Rosie $6 of that super chat. Actually, be truthful, she gets all of it anyway. I don't even be seeing nothing. But I kind of, you know what? I finally got to the point in my life where you know how some husbands get to a point, they be like, you know, they're like, I don't. So when is this bill due? I don't know. I just all I want is, you know, I'm gonna go shopping to get these shoes. Like, without that, as long as the rest of the stuff get paid, we good, right? Shout out to Rosie. Let's see. The pub. I got my shirt this week. Love it. I had to work, but the demons of Poseidon wouldn't keep me from my fresh cut. Dr. Tyson and Brian Green on Star Talk this week, talking about the quantum universe. Man, I appreciate you. Listen, got your shirt. Everybody got their. Look, that's what I like. Everybody got their shirt. They got their shirt. Boy, let's go. We ready to go. Can you imagine? Wait till training camp come. We're going to be doing training camp shows, ready to go, man. David Walker, the thing about injuries are injured in college, injured in pros. This is a concern for anyone drafted. Lemon's better, Biletnikoff winner also. The injuries is a thing. You know, the injuries are a thing. I can't lie about that. There's something to be said for that. Mr. Johnson says Emmett Johnson, Big Ten running back of the year, could be a steal in the draft for the Browns if they miss out on. I like him too. I think the Browns should draft another running back because I think Dylan Sampson is more of a third down special teams type player. I like to see them get a running back that could be a nice 1-2 punch that you ain't never gonna let them off the hook. The Cleveland Browns gonna run that ball. OG Phantom, been a member 5 months. We appreciate you. By the way, the pub, thank you for becoming a member for 6 months. You guys are much too kind, and we appreciate you. Yo, G, I know you said you got multiple course in that building, but you be right on like 95% of the time. One of those sources are either AB's right hand or AB himself. We need that Marvin up. Hey, OG Phantom. Hey, Rosie, man, make sure you got the firewall on these computers. They be knowing stuff. They hacking me around here. Make sure we got the security cameras together, man. How you try to? Yeah, I know you said you got multiple courses in the building, but you be right on like 95% of the time. One of them sources either AB's right hand man or AB himself. You know, I'm a person that just likes to I just like to say what I feel, you know. I like to say what I feel, you know. Sometimes I can get lucky here or there, you know. Hey, I didn't tell you who the Browns are going to draft. Didn't tell you that. But I did tell you it's a real competition, though. And Todd Monken go pick the quarterback. And they've talked to everybody involved, all camps, all of them. And they told everybody in all camps that it's going to be a legit opportunity, fair and square. That's all I can say. Browns sent Clint Eastwood to shut the media down. He did. He came in there like it was the Ponderosa. Yeah. New sheriff in town. David Walker, what I've learned is that you can do a lot more with silence than you ever could by talking. Pleaded the fifth, a.k.a. Fifth Dimension. I see. Look, these guys. Shout out to Fifth Dimension Media. Hey, shh, be quiet. Tonight is not we ride. Yeah. Sometimes silence is golden. Sometimes silence means so much more than what a lot of people get. That silence be killing people, because what it do is you expose yourself. You expose yourself. And I told people, I said, man, what really undid Kevin Stefanski last year was, his people got kind of comfortable, bro. They got kind of comfortable. And the thing that they didn't expect AB to be like, oh, no, y'all thought y'all was going to get me up out of here? Oh, no. Oh, I see what's going down. You're not getting me up out of here. On the contrary. See, let me tell you how comfortable they had got. They thought that them Coach of the Year moves, them awards that they had, by the way, the awards that your friends and family gave you, because that's a writer's award, the friends and family award that Kevin Stefanski got for that 2-time Coach of the Year, they thought that was elevating so much that there's whispers that Andrew Berry is actually underneath Kevin Stefanski in the pecking order. Some even question whether or not that man could even fire Kevin Stefanski. Literally. They looking like this. I don't even know if Kevin, if AB has the control to do that. You see? I say, since when does a coach, was this once the GM, when does he, what? Since when is that man reporting? Who the GM is reporting to the coach now? You could tell in the way they be talking, because there's a little vitriol, a little snarkiness behind it. He shouldn't be here either. Okay. Tell us how you feel. Tell us how you really feel. Miss Melanated, listen to learn and learn to listen. You can't learn when your mouth is open, especially when you're trying to get intel, Miss Melanated. I'm trying to get me some intel. I'm trying to figure out. That's how it really went. You know how the cover really got blown? Let me tell you how it really got blown. Everybody started sounding the same. Some of the same talking points. See, some of the same talking points that one person will say, anytime they would get caught, they would pivot to the same talking points that another person would say. I'm like, that's strange. We didn't even ask you a question about that, but why are you going back to? Remember, watch this. Remember when they just made the boogeyman with Shedeur Sanders be sacks? Remember that? That was purposeful. That wasn't a media, that came directly from the staff. They made sacks the boogeyman. But I knew where it was coming from, because in the game that Dylan Gabriel got sacked 7 times against Pittsburgh, all of a sudden sacks didn't matter anymore at all. But every single time that they continue to talk about Shedeur Sanders, it became sacks. And watch. The thing as well, it became about sacks. It became about sacks, but then later on, it morphed. Now it was interceptions. Then it was he holds the ball too long. All of those things were issues. So I knew that was inside information coming from specifically one person. But the problem is, if I knew that, Don't you think the other people in the organization know that too? So one of the reasons why I always tell people, if we are misinterpreting things, where are all the individuals that were coming out to say Kevin Stefanski shouldn't have been fired? Where were those people at? Well, that's because they knew what he was doing. I'm just saying, it just made me. I'm just letting you know, I'm just talking. Jason Cozy, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Tammy Wright, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Will you host a meet and greet at training camp? I will. When I go to training camp, so here's the way it works. At training camp, there are people that can come in the stands, and I always show love. Like, so last year I went, and actually I was on 92.3 The Fan last summer. I was on with Jonathan Peterlin. And so I was at camp. I watched it practice, and then I came over and was able to talk. So there's fans and crowd there. I always go over and holler at people. They got a whole stand section. So if you're there, I'll probably be interacting with people in the stands or going by there, because there's a big contingency of Browns fans there. So I'll definitely be over there hanging out, doing whatever. And it's open to the public, so they give out certain tickets. So if I'm there, I'll definitely be out and about and talking to the fans. Patrick Williams, the Cleveland media is used to making money off being the butt of the NFL. There it is. Yeah, sometimes you make money off being the negative Nancy, so to speak, the negative Nelly, or the person that we're the lovable losers. And sometimes that narrative needs to change. G. Bush, the Big Larry says, Big Larry. 19641 says G. Bush, and they want to trade Myles Garrett, and he has no trade clause. Again, it's funny because they did the same thing. They need to cut Deshaun Watson and what? And lose $90 million in cap space just to say he's gone? Come on, guys. Why would you even advocate that? That's not happening. And that's why Andrew Berry had to tell him, under no circumstances are we doing that. I'm tired of talking about it. Prentice Premier, salute to you. Bell rang, got number 2 jersey. Jersey is it for Christmas. What are we doing right here? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Kimmy says they compared 2 to MVP quarterbacks instead of his peers. And trust me, that will move, and that'll continue to move up and down, Kimmy, based on what suits them. So next year, if he outperforms his peers, they'll start having conversations about whether or not he's elite, or is he as good as other people in the division. It'll always be some level of comparison, instead of just making sure that you can get what you need to get done and you can win football games. We appreciate you. My man Ellis, Cleveland to the casket drops, period. What's up, OG, man? Man, we holding you down there. Hey, here's what I'm gonna tell you, man. This is one of the realest Browns fans of all time. And this man is down there still holding it down. He is in the gym. Now, mind you, he working in one of them hangars in a warehouse with heavy machinery. This man is waking up at 3-4 in the morning, still going to work out. Dedication, bro. I said, bro, you a bad man. You a bad man. Holding it down for us in Orlando and Florida. Boy, you ain't never gonna find another bigger Browns fans anywhere you at, man. Shout out to the OG. Anthony LaFair, does Cleveland media even realize how no? Remember what I said. It's all, no, you don't. Because you're in the echo chamber. If you think about it, a lot of people don't even really, a lot of people that do shows, do the show, do whatever it is, and because they come from a different medium, they come from a different era, they don't necessarily entertain on the internet. They don't do anything on the internet. All they do is chill. So they do their show and go home. So they don't even see a lot of it. So you be in an echo chamber where you just do your show, but you don't never have nobody be like, hey, bro, why don't we switch this up? We need to switch this up. We need to have this up. We need to do this. We need to figure this out. Matter of fact, I need to. Man, I don't know. I thought I turned that off. My phone going crazy. Shout out to y'all too. I got a lot of people. Every time somebody visits the site, it says someone visited your site. Shout out to that. Shout out to that. Appreciate it. Let's go. Anthony LaFear. Would you trade pick 6 and 24 and Shedeur for the number 1 pick? No. No. For what? No. Why would I do that? Let me just tell you like this. I think Mendoza can be good. Bro, I don't think Mendoza no life-changing quarterback. For what? Like, it's crazy. Like, if you on surface level, just on facts. Shedeur Sanders' numbers, everybody like numbers till you start talking about them, they don't add up. Shedeur Sanders' numbers was he's played more games. He's had to be the focal point. He's played with less talent, and he put up better numbers at a worse school. I'm confused. Like, all right, well, now numbers don't matter. Like, I think Mendoza is good. I think he might have a chance to be a good quarterback, but under no circumstances am I trading the 6 to 24 and the quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, for the number 1 pick to get Mendoza. Stop. No, absolutely not. I'm along the lines with Mel Kiper. I already got a quarterback. You notice I don't be even having a quarterback debate no more. Really? Like, I done kind of actually moved down the street. I already got a quarterback. Y'all can talk quarterback if y'all want to amongst yourself. But no, we're not doing that. I will never say how Cleveland got a first-round talent in the 5th round and won't fully lean into it. Any other organization will build around. Well, any other organization, you got to understand, we got people in here that ain't never been around no winning organizations. We got people that have been covering this team for 30, 40 years. They ain't won a division since 89. So what are we looking at? They wouldn't know if it hit them in the face at all. And they sometimes you so in love with the thought of a quarterback, but you don't know how to develop one or even support one. You're confused. A lot of people, and watch this, Anthony, they say, oh, well, gee, you know, he's not a first round quarterback because he went in the 5th. I say, well, what did you think of him when he watched him in college? Oh, I didn't watch him in college. Someone I trusted told me he went no. Okay. That's what's up. Miss Melanated, Cleveland media flunk math and don't understand PR and marketing. How much money did the Browns make before 2? Jimmy is a billionaire. He's not leaving any money on the table. The NFL feels the same way. You got to build a stadium. And you got to build a stadium in a place where we don't have very much money. Have you seen the economy in the Midwest? Have you seen farmers struggling? Have you seen the price of groceries in West Virginia? Have you seen the price of gas? Have you seen the level of going to the grocery store, get you a handful of stuff? Even the good jobs. I mean, let me give y'all a reality check. Some of my brethren in this media don't understand real life. Let me give you something. I worked a real job. And thank God, I thank him every single day. I didn't know it at the time. It was the greatest thing he ever did. because I worked a job and I worked dead-end jobs. I worked jobs because I had to work a job. I worked jobs because I needed the money. I worked jobs because I had to put gas in my car. I had to sacrifice. I understand what it is to wake up on a Sunday with that stupid feeling in your stomach on Sunday, knowing you got to go to a job that you hate, don't like on Monday. I don't know how many, if you've been doing what you've been doing for 40 years, I don't know if you can remember what it was like to have this ain't a real job to me. No disrespect to people that do it, but I've dug ditches before. I've worked in steel factories before. I've worked construction before. I've worked as a server, a waiter, in the kitchen washing dishes. We've done all that. My wife didn't have running water or electricity half her life. Worked in the fields in the Philippines. Had to sell crops. No car. Transportation is a carabao. This ain't work. It's not a job. And one of the things that I don't think people understand is in this area, people ain't got money like that. People just trying to make ends meet. You got people, the good jobs you used to get was the government jobs. People used to wear that with a badge. Government jobs, people who work for the VA, people who work for the county, people work for the school districts. This country done bled people dry so much, they convinced you that the people that's working in government positions was the problem. What? The jobs that used to be good, that was a job that you could get through the state or you could work for the post office. Guess what? Those jobs are now gone. They overload classrooms. Teachers don't get raises. How is a teacher supposed to pour into the youth of the country and give their time, energy, and effort, but they got to get part-time jobs working for Amazon on the weekends to pay their bills? And we convince people because the price of the stock is going up that the world is doing good. It ain't at all. The only thing that people got is some release, a small release, sports. And the prices of that is going astronomical too. Guess what? To watch the Cavs today, you got to have Prime. And then the next day, you got to have Peacock. And the next day, you might have to have, you got to have apps just to watch the games. So you don't think economists know this? But you know what they understand? They're going to come support him. And we might not have Amazon Prime today for the Cavs. But I'm going to get that too, Jersey. I mean, look, Guardians is doing well. I'll watch them when it was on free. But what I am going to do, I will be watching these Browns games. You see, everybody got money to spend for what they want. You may not have money for cable, but you got enough to watch what you want to watch. And when you trying to build a fan base and sell out tickets, and your regular fan base can't afford it, you know who can afford them? Corporations. And corporations want to invest. Corporations want to be in the building when you got a winner and you got a global person that they can put some money behind and sell products all around the world. You people you're always voting against your own interest. You vote against your own self-interest. You got somebody that can bring economic prosperity to the city, increase taxes, increase businesses, increase people coming up for restaurants. People want to come in and stay in your hotels. People want to shop. People want to come in and put money in your pockets in the 216 area code. But you fools is so insulated and so out of date and so delusional that you feel that your personal feelings is going to get in the way of the economic prosperity of what this could mean for the city. You're always voting against. Well, maybe it's because you don't represent the city. You represent yourself. You represent what you'd like to see. But let me just tell you, give you a little economic lesson. Billionaires don't get to be billionaires for free. they're actually the people that can read the tea leaves and understand when to take a win and when to take a loss. I think they're going to take the win. Saw how quick they turned on Jarvis. Oh, Kimmy, you take that turn on you in a heartbeat. Them ain't your friends. They'll turn on you in a heartbeat. Miss Bell, yes, take Rosie wherever she asks. My husband doesn't tell me no. 28 years. Yeah, you hear that, Rosie? Looks like you might get to go to the concert. Miss Belda has spoken. Neil Gray, we hate when they underestimate Todd Monken coaching skills. We are blessed with him and in-depth knowledge he offers us in the press conferences as an upgrade. He's already disarmed a lot of them because think about it. He's doing exactly what Kevin Stefanski could have did, communicate and put people at ease. He doesn't. See, a lot of people don't understand. Most of the stuff that go on in the world, it's hard for people to control. But here's the thing about, positions of leadership. Most of the time, we just want you to come on and be a sane person and say, we understand how you feel. And you know what? We're going to get it better. And we're going to get through it together. That's all people really want. When you come up there and you stonewall people and say, oh, I don't know, I'm not going to answer that question. Even your allies can't save you then because you're not coming off as a person. We just want a regular person. If we ask you about a quarterback, please tell us about the quarterback. Don't pivot to something stupid because it doesn't help you. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help the team. Nita says, you are one of the very trusted insiders. What in the world, what is in the world, in the locker room about what the players are saying about Shedeur as quarterback competition? Here's how the players are, and I appreciate that, Nita. I think what the players' overarching theme is I think that a lot of the players don't like the way that Shedeur Sanders was portrayed because the way that he is around the team has been nothing but positive. They respect what he's done in the community. And first and foremost, they respect that how he is and he treats everybody the same. So I think that's number one. Number two, the way they look at the situation is they don't have a problem with Deshaun Watson and they don't got a problem with Dylan Gabriel. And how players are and is whoever they're going to put out there and Todd Monken, because he is a straight shooter, whoever they choose, they're going to support, right? But they also understand that Todd Monken has said it multiple times. The players choose their players. The players choose who their leader is. And what he means by that is there is something that happens in locker rooms that is undeniable. And the undeniable nature of playing sports is we know who the dude is. We just know. We play different. The energy is different. You may be losing, but you think you coming back. You may be winning, but you always know that he got something left in the bag. You feel like you understand that it's a different set of rules. When you got the right person, guys seem to make catches that they wouldn't normally make. When you got the right person, even when you playing bad, you always seem to be able to come back and do what you need to do. The players gravitate to you. The players understand it, right? And it's not something that is you can buy. You can't fake your way into it. You can't do that. It's just there. It's evident. So that's why when I tell people these things, it's you can look at the players. You can look at the way they handle themselves. You can look at the way they talk about the things. Anybody that came in as a free agent, the first quarterback they mentioned was who? It's not a coincidence. When the owner is talking about who's in the building and what's they doing, the owner said, who did he mention first? No coincidence. When Todd Monken came in, and the first person that came to see Todd Monken and Andrew Berry was in that office, who was it? When he's talking about these people on tape, He said, I ain't watched that too much Deshaun Watson tape. He asked about Shedeur Sanders, what you see on tape. He gave you 10, 15 minutes of a monologue about what he see. All these things aren't, these aren't by coincidence. These are all things that happen. These are things that happen inside locker rooms. You listen to what Shelby Harris says. You listen to what Denzel Ward says. You listen to what Myles Garrett says. Those players will respect the game. If Deshaun Watson come out there and cook and he the best quarterback, you know what they're going to do? Say he the quarterback. They're going to respect it. But if you ask him who they think is going to be the quarterback, it's already evident. It's right in front of you. Now the only thing, and this is the best way to do it, because if he goes through the situation and he gets to where he needs to go and he performs the way he needs to perform, there's no questions to be asked. You know why? Because now he went through it. The coach gave him all the fair opportunity. He won fair and square. And now when people come back during the season and try to hit you with it, you can tell them, you never wanted him to play. You're irrelevant. You told us, you've been trying to tell us from the jump street that this is how it's supposed to be done. That Shedeur is supposed to come in and earn it, that he was supposed to be quiet, that he was supposed to not earn his teammates' respect. He was supposed to earn his new coach's respect, the general manager and the owner. He's done every one of those things. And yet and still, we are here when he's the starting quarterback and you have things to say. We disregard you. We don't listen to you. Please go talk in the ether. Please go talk over there amongst yourselves because you are no longer relevant. Because the stuff that you are talking about is selfish, is individual, and is not got nothing to do with reality or team sports or what the Browns are doing. Please go over there and talk to yourselves, amongst yourselves, and be hateful. Because at that point, he's earned the job. The same way that you say in America, we want you to earn it. We want you to do it the right way. We want you to get the American way is you are judged on your merits. It's not about the color of your skin, but the content and creed of your character. If you are telling us that, and you are telling us that that's what it takes to be elevated in the land of the free and home of the brave, and yet you still, after every turn, find a reason not to live by those principles, it's time for us to start not listening to you. It's time for us to turn away, and that's what we shall do. Last but not least, big loyal bang. It got so wicked that they released Tony Brown. It's nasty work out here. Well, I got you. Hey, Rosie got you out on time. She told me to shut up a few times. You're doing too much. We got you out on time. We want y'all to be able to go watch the Cavaliers, Miss Bell. You go check it out. 15 minutes to kick off or 15 minutes to tip off. Cavs and Raptors. We hoping for a Cavs win against the Raptors game 1. We appreciate everybody. I think we had some fun. We're going to be back same place, same time next week. You know what we do. Next week, we talk about gravity, Isaac Newton, and Todd Monken's playbook. Boy, I tell you, we got some things cooking. Don't forget, coming up, Final Cut Wednesday, me, Earl the Pearl, and special guest. You might know him from being with MGK. Cleveland's own Doe B. Doughboy is in the building. He will be talking about the Cavs. We'll talk about the Guardians. We'll talk about mostly the Browns in the NFL draft, and we'll do it in the way we do it. Continue to support. Let us know. With that being said, you never know what G-Bush might show up. Radio, television, internet. But if you want a fresh cut on sports, I keep the Clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, you know how we give it up. Go Browns.